Yeah, I didn't change your expression.
Because I'm a bird. I'd be like, I'm a bird. No.
Can everyone see me? What's going on here?
Yeah, look at that, bro. Let it out. Pick it out.
Now that we wear the headphones, though, it's like I can't make.
I can't wear a hat because of these.
You can,
Sure you can.
There we go.
You can wear like a beanie. That could be a thing.
Yeah,
Or a military cap.
Like all your podcasts, you wear a beanie because you're hip hop. You love hip hop.
No.
I've seen you in beanies quite often.
They'd be like, wow, David got so much more easygoing.
He's got so much style.
Oh. Okay.
Let's get this theme song underway, and then we'll start the podcast.
Don't forget to tweet us your
A
questions.
3-hour tour.
How's the
Sit
live
right
thing
back
look?
in here with
I better-
Sure.
Tale
I guess
of
I should,
podcast too.
I guess I should refresh it.
You hearing anything? Making sure the sound works.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's do this. Let's do this intro. Chelsea.
Yes.
Microphone stand. No. Okay, let's do it. Everyone ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's a podcast from Steam Powered Giraffe. It's the Bennettarium. We got a Chelsea, David, Bunny, and me on the Bennettarium.
Oh boy.
It's the Bennettarium. And it starts right now.
Sweet.
Welcome.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks for doing that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian, for doing that. And welcome, everyone, to the Bennettarium, the podcast from the creators of Steam Powered Giraffe. And let's take this moment to introduce yourselves. David, you want to start?
Hi, my name's David Michael Bennett, and I play the Spine in Steam Powered Giraffe.
My name is Chelsea Penyak. I'm a Walter worker with Steam Powered Giraffe.
And I am Isabella Bunny Bennett, and I play Rabbit in Steam Powered Giraffe.
And I am Bryan Barbarin, and I play Zero. Yeah.
The whole gang's here. Except
So
Camille.
yeah,
Camille.
the whole
And boys-
band,
and Steve. No
all
Steve
four of
either.
us, and no Steve, and
They're-
no.
Yeah.
Here in spirit, though, you know.
Oh,
I really
yeah.
feel
I think
them.
Camille wanted to come,
She did.
but she has work.
She
You know
works.
what?
She works on Mondays.
Wanting and doing is two different things. So I feel like let's not
was
talk
like-
about her right now. She's not here. No, I'm kidding.
So
Yeah.
let's
She had her chance.
let's cut right to the chase.
Okay.
Steam Powered Giraffe tabletop role playing game. Here
Oh
we
my
go.
gosh.
Last time on Steam Powered Giraffe role playing game. Who knows? It was too long ago.
That helps nobody.
But now we join Rabbit, the Spine, and Zero in their brand new ice cream parlor that they inherited from a great uncle.
Oh boy, guys! I just got this deed from our great aunt, and she said that we earn this ice cream factory.
Are you reading this from a parchment right now or something?
Yes, I'm dusting it off. It's quite dusty.
Wow, it's like a scroll too.
Oh gosh, look at this. It says, "Warning: the ice cream factory might be haunted."
Oh, spooky ice cream.
Wait, do we have to spend the night here to inherit it, or do we already own it?
How did you know? Wow.
What? Wait, that's part of the clause?
It's like this is some sort of cliche trite thing that happens all the time.
Well, we got to start somewhere.
Okay, now let's get into our car and go up to the mountain, which will have
Wait,
like
I
a
thought
thunderous
we're not
lightning
already there?
strike, and it's a mansion for some reason instead of an ice cream factory. But don't
We're
let
at
that
a-
fool you.
We're at our aunt's house.
I could have sworn it was a parlor, not a factory.
Well,
it
it's a
just-
factory attached to the parlor.
Did we inherit a parlor and a factory?
All right, great granddad says that we can have his ice cream
Well,
factory.
hold on. I
only-
got some questions about the canon of this. Our great aunt, was she a robot or was this a Walter?
You know, our
Walter
great great nephew that he passed, but he left us this ice cream palace.
No. Hold on. We inherited a palace as well.
Well, it's a factory palace. It's pretty much the
Factory,
same.
palace, manor, it's all the same.
Oh, okay. So wait, it's a place where customers come to have ice cream?
Yeah,
Or
up
is
the
it-
mountain. You
or
gotta
is it a-
drive up the mountain to a very dark, spooky house where you can get ice cream.
Or
What's
is it
so
a-
hard to understand
Or
about
is
that?
it a factory that?
It's a factory. It doesn't need to be accessible by people because that's where they make the factory.
but it was a parlor when we
factory ice
started.
cream.
Well, you can try the ice cream, but if you try it, it's like Willy Wonka. You try the
No,
ice cream,
it's
you
also
fall
a
off.
palace, so therefore there's royalty that lives there.
Yeah, the ice cream king and queen and the jesters.
And who are you, by the way? Oh, it's Walter Worker Chelsea. She's come to drive us.
Beep beep.
I hope you.
We don't have driver's licenses.
I don't.
Plus, we weigh several tons, so I hope your car has good suspension.
I hope you got your semi-truck license.
I've brought my trailer.
Okay,
It's
excellent. That
it's
sounds
hooked
great.
to my truck. You guys
Is
can
there
get in
plenty
the
of
trailer.
is there plenty of hay?
Come on, get in.
Zero doesn't want to get in. He's getting spooked.
I don't like this. It's spooky in there.
Here's Zero. Here's an apple.
Oh, okay, well, I just...
Oh, I want that apple. That looks really
Hey,
good.
man, that's my apple. Give me my apple back. Hey.
We'll share it. We'll share it.
I don't want it now. Your germs are all over it.
What?
Yeah, that's
the-
gross. You were up in space. That's nasty.
You got
I
space
bought
bugs in your
plenty
teeth.
for everyone.
Oh yeah, Zero. Did you hear about the time we went to space
No.
and fought the space giant?
No, y'all never told me about no
With
space
the
giants.
power of rock and roll.
Did you know that I love fighting space giants and you should have invited me on your tour?
Yeah, but there was this other guy, and he really wanted to go.
Okay.
His name was Hatchway.
I
Well, that's
thought
understandable.
that Zero got to do something much cooler. Once you in charge of saving the president with Hatchworth or something.
Oh, yeah, but we didn't do a very good job with it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. I mean, he's all right, but he's
was
not.
that the movie White House Down or something? Was that what it was?
Yeah, starring Zero and Ashworth. It was Olympus Fallen. That's in London.
Anyways, now that we're in the trailer, hey Chelsea,
Yeah.
how are we able to hear you? Are you in the car yet?
I'm leaning out the window.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
What do you want?
Like,
are
let's
we
go.
There, are we there yet?
Where are we going?
To the ice cream factory up the mountain.
Oh, okay.
Endor Palace, Endor.
Let me just punch in
Parlor.
on my Waze app. Palace.
Let's
ice
see if
cream,
you have the
ice cream
technological
palace.
savvy to.
Beep beep beep.
Oh, you rolled a 1. Your phone explodes.
So we've got to figure out a way out
Does
this mountain
anyone-
without
yeah.
a phone?
Does anyone know the way? Does anyone want to drive?
Up the airy mountain.
I believe you take 2 lefts and a right, and you should be somewhere near a palace.
Well, why don't we just?
Oh wait, it's like
drive
right
and-
next to Walter Manor. Look at it, it's right there. We can just get out and walk. We don't even
Oh.
need this at all.
I mean, you might as well drive us to the door. We're already in here. It took,
Yeah.
it took
All
quite a
right.
lot of effort to hitch up the wagon
Yeah, let's do that.
or
We
the
don't
trailer, whatever this is.
don't want to waste any steam.
Okay, we're here.
Oh,
That was quick.
what a silent drive.
Well, should we
All right, we gotta
go
spend
in?
the night.
Wait, is it nighttime yet?
all night?
It looks like it's noon.
All right, let's get inside though.
I mean, we have 12 hours before it's gonna be midnight. Maybe we should wait 6 hours before we go in. I mean, that'll give the ghost less time to harass us.
I don't think ghosts exist in the daytime.
They don't. It's only at nighttime.
Pretty
I feel like
sure.
you'd just be waiting for the ghost to arrive before you get in the house.
All right,
But if we get in now, we could build a fort.
whoa,
and the
whoa, hold on.
forts-
Now it's
ghosts
a
can't
house.
go to a fort.
I thought it was a factory.
It is a
All
factory.
right, let's get inside the spaceship and make some ice cream.
Just
I mean,
inside this barn, there's an ice cream machine where we can hang out with spooky ghosts.
All right, let's open that door.
All right.
Should we knock or do we just open?
No, it's our. We own this place. It's
Does
our.
anyone got a key? Because it looks like it's locked.
I'm gonna kick down the door.
All right.
Okay, let's see if Rabbit kicks down the door.
I'll wait out here for you guys.
You don't kick it down, but you put a big hole in it.
All right, now our house will go faster.
Okay. Well, since you can't kick down the door, let me see if I can go ahead and knock it down with my head.
All right. Yes, you knock it down with your head.
That was
Sweet.
incredibly easy.
Now it'll get nice and cold at night.
Yeah, good. And keep the ice cream frozen.
And
I
all
mean,
the
we
wild
ju-
animals will walk in and eat our
Well-
ice cream.
We're robots. We don't care.
What about the ice cream?
I'm sure that's in a freezer.
We have a whole ice cream factory. We can make more ice
We
cream.
just keep
Why does it
making
smell bad in here?
I mean, it's probably because of the rotten ice cream and not
No,
paying the
yeah,
electric
you're right.
bills.
It's abandoned, and it's just been sitting in here.
Can you leave dairy out? How long can you leave dairy out?
All right, we've got an hour before doors open and customers come in to get their rotten ice cream.
Wait, I thought this
Chip
was
chop.
a factory.
Yeah, factory.
The factory tours.
So are we the royalty now? Are we the kings and queen of ice cream?
I don't know.
If you really feel that way, Spine, you could be the king of ice cream.
I'm just confused.
We'll call you king of ice cream if that's
what
what,
about
you
all
really
these?
want.
Maybe all these stray cats are the royalty now.
Yeah, you know, they don't seem to mind licking up that. Oh, that one died. Okay, well,
Now, can we strain the hair out of this ice cream, or do
I-
we just leave it in?
I think that's the hair flavor ice cream, so I think that's supposed to be there.
Well, it's kind of like sprinkles.
I
Except it's
mean,
with hair.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and ask Chelsea to run to the liquor store and get us
Aw,
a few
jeez.
pints to hold off the customers.
Okay.
Some pints? Pints of what?
Ice cream.
Oh,
I'll be
man.
back in half an hour. How many? Wait, what?
I don't know how many people you think will
I mean,
show up.
it's
Wait,
buckets.
have
Oh,
people-
like-
Well, we've done
Like a
zero
big
advertising.
Buckets.
Apparently, this has been closed since the 80s.
It's a very hard hill to get up. I don't know
I
if people
don't
know
know.
this. We sell ice cream in here.
Maybe two
Uh,
pints of vanilla.
Wait, why am I running
No, no,
down
no,
the
no.
hill? I have a truck.
This
Okay, I'll be back.
One chocolate, one vanilla. That'll be
Okay.
a good start.
I'll have a coffee ice cream if y'all
You're
have
not.
that.
We're not
Okay.
eating the ice cream. we gotta sell it.
Well, we got
give
three
me
of
like,
them.
Give me like a Reuben or something.
A Reuben?
We're not taking
At
orders.
the ice cream
We're-
store.
Well, there's a deli next door. If
right.
you swing by the deli,
Okay.
it'd be
And
awesome.
now we don't have any money, so
Maybe
this
an
is coming
ice
out of your
Oh,
paycheck.
right.
Mhm.
Okay. Hold on.
3 dill pickles.
Yeah.
3 dill pickles.
Okay. Just 3.
Just 3.
Okay.
And an egg.
And an egg for a rabbit. Okay, I think I got it all. Spine, you want anything?
Just the ice cream.
All right.
I'll be the responsible one.
Yeah. We'll
be
we'll
back.
pay you when you get back. We promise.
Sure.
We don't have any money. What are you talking about?
Shut up.
I got these rabbit fun bucks.
What? Those still exist
They do.
for your failed theme park?
Yeah.
Yeah, they certainly do.
That's
And
what-
it wasn't a failure. We like to use the word liability.
I tried using those at Starbucks and they kicked me out.
Well, that was dumb of you.
Rabbit's been paying me in those fun bucks for 3 years now. That's all, pretty much all the money I have.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't got paid ever, so that's something.
Yeah. I just bring my money to Rabbit, and then she gives me whatever she has in her hand. At the
I got
time.
one of the golden bolts from Floaty Time. It's quite a treasure.
Oh, I love floaty time.
It's such a good boat.
I gotta I sell them one piece at a time to Rabbit.
Yeah,
Get rabbit
I
bucks.
don't understand. You know, it's at the bottom of a giant aquarium right now, and you keep feeding it fish food, but it just piles up at the top.
Yeah. Well, that's because I had to sell the bottom to Rabbit. Doesn't have any float to float on.
No, I get that.
I'm using it for gravy.
the bottom of the boat.
Gravy boat.
Yeah, it's a gravy boat.
All right. Well, I'm sure the holes in it, anyways, would have made it sink anyway, so don't feel too bad.
Yeah. I really don't.
Who's that orange man with green hair in the corner over there, just staring at us?
Ralph?
I don't know.
I-
Is there a man with? Nope. That's a coat rack with a hat on top of it.
Well, I guess we're not having a Willy Wonka-esque adventure. Sorry, listeners, I tried.
But hey, maybe we can find the bedrooms so we can spend the night. Otherwise, we're not gonna get this piece of crap.
All right. I call Top Bunk. Yeah.
You know, I don't.
Are there bunks?
I don't actually sleep, so this is.
But it did say we had to spend the night.
So we had to force ourselves to sleep.
Or at least pretend. I would imagine.
Well, let me just open up this room and see if this is going to be a room for me.
You see.
Maybe the spine takes this room. I'll take another room. Let me just see what's going on in this room.
What's wrong with that? Oh, I see. Yeah, Spine, this is definitely
Spine,
yours.
this
What's
is your
going
room.
on in there?
It's a great room for the spine. It looks
Let me just-
It's
amazing.
all yours.
Let me
You
just
should
look
have
at
your
it. Yeah,
master
go ahead.
suite right here.
Oh, there's no floor. It just goes right into the basement.
Yeah, this is yours.
So you cool with that room?
I mean, no.
All right. We'll see you later.
Have a good night.
Have a good night's sleep.
You can't make me go in there. Nah. Let's see if you push me.
Yeah, I'll see if I'll push you out the.
No, you don't.
Oh. Well, have a good night. I lightly pat you on the back.
Even though it's noon right now, you should probably get your rest.
Get your Z's.
Well,
right,
let's just see
Zero.
what this other room over here is. Oh, what's in this room? I guess I'll make up all what's happening.
You're the one looking. You're the one looking.
I'll come look at it in just a minute.
Oh, this one doesn't seem too bad. It's
Oh.
got this has a baby crib in it. That someone could probably fit in that, right? But why is it rocking all by itself?
Why don't you take this room as well?
All right.
We'll see what's going on in this room.
Oh, look at that room.
Oh, amazing.
You're right. It's a giant hedge maze shoved into a room. I wonder what's in the center.
Who wants to sleep in the headspace room?
Oh,
In the center might be a very comfortable place.
you know what? This room's bleeding. I think this one's great. The walls are bleeding blood. I think this one's ideal for me.
Rabbit, they're all bleeding blood.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
But
Okay,
at
so
least in the
that's-
hedge maze one, you can't see the blood through the hedges. So
All right. Well, I'm still gonna take this one because it has it has one of those dumb waiters down to the kitchen.
Oh, my favorite.
Yeah. So
You know what? This is just strawberry jam. This is probably a topping. I bet it's leaking from the attic.
Come on, it's supposed to be haunted.
Is it haunted? Did anyone tell us it was haunted?
Well, I mean,
It said right there in the will.
The contract? The contract. will.
that's why it's haunted. Instead of ice cream, it makes jam.
I mean,
So no matter how hard you try, you can't make any ice cream. All you
Perhaps-
can make is jam.
perhaps it has a bunch of rotting ingredients seeping from the attic, as well as it's haunted.
Oh, so the attic must be where the factory is. Let's go up there then.
All right.
Which is kind of a weird place to put your ice cream factory. You'd think it'd be underground.
Well, usually, like if you have a restaurant and your living quarters are up above it, that's a thing.
Yeah, keep all your ingredients above your
But
head.
it's much easier to lift heavy machinery upstairs and store it in the attic.
Yeah, but you pour ice cream, so it comes from the attic. It pours down to the.
That's
so it
actually smart.
Makes
That's
more
like-
sense.
Yeah, it's
to
like
me.
a grain silo.
How are you gonna get ice cream upstairs?
This place probably wasn't very successful.
Doesn't look like anyone's been here for years.
And why was it haunted? Did someone die here? We don't. We do not know the backstory here.
No, anything about it. It's just haunted.
Well, let's check out the factory.
All right. Let's walk up this ladder. Oh, they don't even have stairs, do they? It's actually in an attic. All right.
Come,
And the stairs. There are those ladder stairs things. You've seen them.
Yeah. It's real dusty. It's real dusty. There's
Yeah.
cobwebs.
Let me paint a picture.
Yeah.
It's dusty.
I see it.
I'm right there.
You know what? What? It didn't even say in the will that this was an ice cream factory.
What is it? Well, then why did we think
Where,
it was?
where did
You're
we
right.
get that
it
idea?
said parlor.
Whoop.
It said parlor.
Bunny, I feel like you brought that idea to the table.
I swore I read a word that I mean, here's the will. Let's take a look. No. Yeah, like 15 people were murdered here. That's
This wasn't a factory at all.
that's about it.
This is just a murder house.
Well, let's open up an ice cream factory here. We got a lot of work to do.
I think maybe we should just go open an ice cream. Maybe I got it. Why don't we sell this place and then buy an ice cream parlor?
All right, so let's go get a loan.
We don't need a loan. We got to sell it. We got to put it on the market. We got to go to a real estate agent.
All right, this is gonna be the best adventure we've had yet.
Way better than that space adventure where we were fighting moonworms.
Remember that? Remember that?
Yeah, Steam Powered Giraffe and the Realtors. This will be
All right.
fantastic adventure.
Let's put it on the market and wait about a year or so to see if it sells.
I mean, I don't know.
We gotta put a fresh coat
they'll
of paint on
probably
there
they'll
if we
probably
wanna
tear
sell
it down and turn it into track homes or something.
You know, if we just kind of start like pickaxing the outside of the walls, I think the jam will actually start like seeping down outside, and we'll give it a nice red coat.
I'm just gonna start filling up these rooms with items that I have in my life that I like to keep, like newspaper clippings and old cats.
Well, that's not gonna make this
So,
murdered house
I
any,
feel like
any
if-
more
If
attractive.
we keep stuffing it with things, it'll have more things to offer.
You know, I don't
So-
think anyone's gonna buy a house covered in blood, anyways. Or unless that is jam. Walter work at Chelsea. Are you back from the store? Where is she? Is she back yet? Where's
Did you,
that-
did you
where's
lose
that
the car? Hey,
sandwich?
what happened to the car? Did you lose the car?
What happened?
We need that car.
Oh,
Did you break down on the way here?
I got the sandwich.
Let's see if you
Oh.
broke down
3
on the way here.
pickles.
3 pickles? Okay.
No, you
Here's
didn't
your
break
egg,
down.
rabbit.
Oh, thank you.
Why'd you throw it at me?
Yeah, that's what you get.
For what?
That's what you wanted
Yeah,
it
d-
for?
when-
What'd I do?
Remember when we were playing tic-tac-toe 2 years ago?
Do I remember when we were playing?
Tic-tac-toe years ago?
All right,
Tic-tac-toe
ins-
years ago?
all right. Here's my move. I'm gonna put a square instead of an X. 'cause
That's not an X or
That's-
a circle.
a square. It's a
I'm
it's a
X's.
one move. A square.
Your circles, so you
This-
can't. You can't.
No, the square is a valid move.
No, it's not.
I'm just gonna draw it in right here.
Let me
Don't.
just check the rule book real quick. I don't have a rule book.
All right. Okay, so we're all in agreement that I
No.
won the game because I drew the square.
That's not how it works.
I'm pretty sure it's.
Well, what happens if I just flip this table over?
You know what? 2 years from now, I'm going to buy an egg, and I'm going to throw it at your face inside a haunted house.
Well, I can't wait for that day.
It's going to happen. It's
Can't
going
wait
to
for that
happen.
day. Can't wait for that day. Can't wait for that day. Can't wait for that day.
Well, it looks like I had the last laugh.
Why?
Looks like you got egg on your face.
You have egg on your face, literally.
Ha! There, I had the last laugh.
I guess he was right. When you're right, you're right.
Huh.
Son of a!
No, I've had the last laugh.
Let's see it. Let's see if you actually laughed. You did not. That was just a dream that you're having. Zero, wake up!
Oh man, I had this most wonderful dream where I had the last laugh and everyone loved me.
Everyone knows that I always have the last laugh.
I know, Spine. I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna take a pail of gasoline and then start going to town.
On what?
Just like pouring it everywhere.
Chelsea left the car. I don't know why you need the gasoline.
All right, let's burn this down and
Is
collect
this
the insurance money.
Do we have insurance on this?
I hope so. I'm about to light the match.
Maybe we should go take out a policy first.
I don't like where this is going.
How
Maybe you
get
shouldn't
out
have
of
me write the
here?
premises for these things.
One of you has jetpack feet, right? We can just fly out of here or something.
We can walk.
What
too.
happened to the car?
Yeah, what did happen to the car? I'm very confused now.
And the man is like
it didn't
right
break
down.
down.
The
I
hill.
rolled in and it didn't break down. So what happened to it?
I left it in the parking lot. I carried the stuff back.
Why?
I needed the exercise.
All right, so first we need to get out all the cats from here. So Chelsea, we need you to go buy some wet cat food. We're gonna cover Zero in wet cat food, and he's gonna lure all the cats out.
Oh,
and then we can burn it down.
Just like my 5th birthday.
Yeah, but this will be useful instead of just ridiculous.
Okay.
So, okay, Chelsea, we'll need you to go to the store again.
We'll need about 200,000 cans of cat food.
I mean, there's a lot of cat. Like, this is a sea of cats. Like, as we've been shuffling our feet through through the living room, it's
I've
just been cats.
gently walking, trying not to step on the cats. It's very difficult. A lot of cats.
I can't even feel the floor. I'm not stepping on cats, but I'm definitely stepping on cat entrails from the butts.
Yes.
The what do they call that?
Poop?
Yeah, cat poop.
Yes.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Will Chelsea make it to the store in time to get the cat food? Will the robots have a more exciting adventure other than taking out a loan or an insurance policy? Tune in next time whenever we do this again. Probably not soon enough. All right, good job, everyone. You all get
It was fun. It was fun.
All right.
you all get 8 experience points.
I'm gonna spend them on my weapons.
I'm going to buy me a coffee.
All right, podcast over.
Well, good work, everybody. I'll see you on
So let's see. We haven't
Sorry, I'm
caught up in a while. The last time we did a podcast, it was just the 3 of us, right? We skipped last week because we had too much to do. And we had this live stream that same weekend.
a lot of setup, a lot of set down.
Yeah.
Whoa, let's chat about our new thing that we're doing with the live streams. I don't think we've talked about that.
We haven't.
Yeah,
have we?
and Brian hasn't been on the podcast since.
So we
his
got a lot of
first
catching
show.
up. Everyone needs to know, like, what have you
I'm
been
gathering
doing?
questions for later.
Yeah, I don't. Brian. Last time Brian was on here, we hadn't even done a show yet. I don't think.
No,
Yeah, it's true. It's just like the
You haven't even been a robot
Like
yet.
Christmas.
the beginning. Yeah, it's just the beginning of everything. Yeah, we did the video, and that's about it.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
right. Yeah.
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 Well, let's see. So yeah, we're doing these live stream concerts completely free on YouTube. We've done 2. They were a week or so apart, and yeah, the reception was really good for them for the most part, and we've improved since the second one, and we definitely want to do more of them. It's definitely gotten us some publicity, positive and negative, and it's all good. We've got quite a lot more show bookings because of those live streams. So
That's cool.
I think
Getting
it's
attention.
positive on
Yeah.
multiple levels.
It's interesting because I feel like a lot of people don't understand what the show actually is.
Yeah.
So they see the videos and they hear the songs and stuff like that. But once you see the full experience, you're like, oh, it's like an
Yeah.
extra click. So seeing it in that element
Yeah.
is a cool way to view it. You know?
I gave some tickets to some friends who had no idea what the
Yeah.
act was, and they came to the Escondido show, and they really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But they mentioned not a negative thing, but they were like, yeah, it definitely felt like we were in the midst of like a Rocky Horror
Yeah,
thing.
totally.
Like the audience is really like into it and interacting
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
jokes, and they kind of like they know the in jokes and everything, and they're like, it was a great vibe of like this like community.
Totally,
Kind of like
totally.
it's definitely a niche
yeah.
thing. We try our best to make it digestible for everyone, but it's too, because we do the character stuff. It's too over some people's heads.
Yeah. I think like a large portion of the fandom, the reason it appeals to them is because they really get into like the characters and their
Yeah,
interactions.
True.
But yeah, we don't have too many inside jokes. I think it's just the idea that we're doing some weird improv theater thing
Sure.
in addition to playing
True.
music.
But it's all very funny. I mean, it's to me. So
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
that part of the show is it's like it's a nice surprise. It's like, oh, I didn't expect this.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
because you go to so many concerts, it's like I'm just gonna sit here and listen to them sing, and then maybe someone will tell a story. But it's like, no, it's a whole experience. You know, from the very beginning. You know, Steve
Yeah.
Negretti getting on the mic. You know, it's a whole experience.
Yeah.
It's a little more scripted, I suppose, than just us playing music. But then we also have the improv stuff. But yeah, we've been doing the live stream. We just offer like a tip donation thing where people, and that's so far has made it worth our while. Paid back all the expenses that we've had putting them on, and hopefully we're able to do more in the future. We're just looking at potential dates, securing venues. It's always the hardest part, but yeah, more in the future. What's our next upcoming shows? We got
the Ren Fair, Irwindale,
California.
That's Saturday, May 13th. It's RenCon weekend, so it's basically like a whole. They're basically doing like it's a cosplay weekend, so you can come as Spider-Man or whatever.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, and I think the previous weekend before that is like time travelers, so you can be like steampunk.
Yeah.
Cool.
They didn't want us for that one, I think, just because. I mean, I guess it's just we are steampunk, but we're also like we genre hop, right?
Yeah, we look a little different than steampunk.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
But yeah, both are. It's a great Renaissance festival. You should come on a non-themed weekend too. It's that's up in Irwindale. We're just gonna be performing on a stage. It's a small little show, but it'll be different if you're looking for something a little.
It's not gonna be like a theatrical
No,
show. Like,
so we have to make like a different set, and it's gonna be outside. And
So are you guys gonna cosplay or anything? Cosplay weekend?
I mean,
So like if you were to, what would
If
you
we
do?
were there
What would you
longer.
do?
yeah, we won't be there long enough.
I know, but if you were to, what would you do?
yeah, I'd come as SalGaxCon because Renaissance Festival.
Yeah.
I just do that.
I'd wear my Ren Fair garb, but
Okay.
I know that's boring. but-
Well, because we already do we already do other conventions and we're able to do other
What
stuff.
would you do, Brian?
I don't know. All right, I don't know what I do. Could do a lot of things. All right.
Oh, is that so? Can you do this?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
What about this?
What are you doing? Why is that a skill that you have?
That's
Why do you do that?
it's just like
I can't do it.
for
You
people
make
for people who only have the audio. It's just
you make so much sound. Yeah.
It's just my fingers on my knuckles and I'm like slapping them.
I've got really soft knuckles, so if I punch you, it's like a pillow. Like, psh.
I can do
Is that how it works?
Whoa! That's really
I can't
cool.
do that, but I can do the.
I can't do that.
Oh gosh.
I can do this. Huh? Anybody else?
I have a little double joint.
I have
I got 'em all.
double joint.
I have a
Like-
hyper extended finger though.
Whoa! I got the 8 seconds down. Yay!
So yeah, Ren Fair, and
Anyway.
we have more shows in the works. We have
Well, there's Anime Midwest in the summer.
True.
Yeah,
we have a Comic-Con show in July.
We haven't been able to announce it yet because they haven't put the tickets up for sale. But as soon as the theater does, we'll let you all know.
Yeah. We're gonna do more of the live events. It's been getting better. Like we keep polishing it. The first one was a little too dark. The second one, it looked a lot better with lighting. So
Yeah, and also we've only done 2 live shows with Brian and the set that we've
True,
had.
yeah.
And we culled our live show like by a good number of songs to make a set for the live streams.
Yeah.
And we did the same thing for the second one, and it's like a hodgepodge of the jokes were made for the live show, and some of them worked. But
it's.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, we didn't put much thought into like, oh, we'll just cut the songs and then we'll just stitch it together. But there's a few continuity things that didn't work out when we did that. But
it's starting to do better. I mean, because the live show is 2 hours, 1 hour and a half long, so it's a lot longer than a YouTube. And so there's a different pacing, there's a different feel with the live audience. So I think we're starting to get the feel for like how to play it for YouTube, which requires like a little more original content. A little bit different pacing. We have to like kind of address the cameras directly.
yeah, and looking at all the what's it called, the analytics and stuff, like we can see like when like the show is pretty much at length. We reach our peak 15 minutes before the show ends, both streams, which tells me that anything over an hour and 15,
it's too much.
Yeah,
for
people
agree.
to stay.
I
But
agree.
I think we're at the like if we did an hour and a half, it probably would be okay. But I think right now we're at like an hour and 10 minutes, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good amount.
Yeah, actually, one of our
yeah.
questions from Twitter was, how do you find that balance? Is it harder to do the the act in front of a camera. So what
It's
you guys were
definitely-
talking about,
Definitely harder.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, you miss that live aspect. It's like,
Yeah,
when,
I
especially
mean-
with the improv, it's like
it's different.
when you improv, and I think it's like that's what we got. Like
Yeah.
we want to break each other because it's like we think it's funny, but it's. I mean, the whole live show, the whole aspect about it is like you say something, the audience responds. You know, the audience responds, you do something else. Like there's a whole other element that's missing from
Yeah.
that component. So it's like if you think it's funny, and a lot of the bits that we did, especially for the second one, were new bits. So it's like we think it's funny to us,
Yeah.
you know,
Of
but it's
course,
like,
yeah.
do you think it's funny? I don't know.
Because in a
But we're gonna
live-
throw it out there anyways.
with
you
an
know?
audience, you can read it, and then
Yeah, exactly.
and then if that doesn't
Yeah.
land, you go
You
on
can
to
change
that.
something
Yeah.
else.
I think
yeah.
a good example was the Honeybee bit. For the first YouTube concert, you guys did the bit that you do at live shows with an audience, which is always, great. The audience loves it. But I remember you guys talking about how it didn't really like work as well without an audience.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
we've done the only time we've done stuff in front of a camera other than a music video. We did the audience-less performances for the Golden Harp Fraternal Dreams when we had John and Mike and stuff in the band.
at the grow spot.
But we didn't have any of the improv bits, and we just did the bits leading into the songs,
Yeah.
and those were very scripted, and that's why those worked. So so basically,
Oh yeah, because you guys did like it was like cutaway.
We didn't really
Yeah.
talk to each other in those performances.
Yeah, and so in hindsight, it's kind of like, oh, that doesn't really give a even that video didn't really show off what our act is.
No,
it
no,
made
no.
us it made it seem like almost what we did at the zoo is what it looked like. But when we did the Walter Robotics Expo, that one
Was the show.
was the show, and people don't like that one as much.
It's also weird, but I remember that the Walter Robotics one, we had to cut so much dead space. Like,
Oh well, like Mike broke a string and we had to like vamp for a
Yeah.
while. So yeah, we cut out stuff like that. But that in a live show, it's like, what are you supposed to do? Like,
right?
but for no one wants to sit and watch a video of someone changing guitar
Sure.
strings while the other people. There was nothing funny going on there.
it was
nothing
still a
funny.
little. It was still a little like. I just noticed like, with the live musicians and our act like after the zoo, very slow, like very painfully slow to watch. Shows were almost 3 hours, and there was no reason for them to be 3 hours.
Well, because
like,
because
why?
usually when you go see a band, they kind of give you that time to. Oh yeah, you're gonna play for like 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
But we've always our best shows are like an hour and a half.
it was just a lot of waiting around for everything.
I mean,
I
just
get that.
live
I get
instruments,
that.
yeah.
Got to tune everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, the act's definitely gone through changes, and of course, we got pretty fast with the act with Sam, but we hadn't changed the set and stuff since we knew he was coming to a
Right.
close. It was like, well, we're not gonna go learn a bunch of songs that you're not gonna be playing.
Yeah.
So we just kept it the same for the last few shows, and then. And yeah, and those that flowed really well because we had already done it since that summer, but that's just kind of how it goes. And this one, we did the set twice, and I think Everett was the best,
Yeah,
like
it was.
pacing wise.
It was, yeah.
And then the live streams we just threw it all apart, and so now it's like we're starting from it almost feels like the live streams and the live show have to be two separate things now.
Yeah, it would have to
Yeah.
because it's like you see the live stream so often, it's like you don't want to see the same.
Well,
thing.
that too, yeah.
It,
that's another
it feels like
thing.
really good experience and practice.
Yeah,
though.
it is.
Yeah.
It's really good to watch.
I think we can do.
you know.
I think we can
Yeah.
do both. I mean, obviously, the key thing is that it's great to be able to play the songs more
Yeah, true.
than waiting for a live show. But also, then we also have to kind of think about how the bits translate to when you don't have a reaction, and you're like you're doing it into a void.
Yeah.
Like we can have Steve and Curly laughing in the background, but
And you do every once in a while, like I mean, that's the thing. I did notice a couple times when Steve and Curly were laughing. I'm like, okay, good. This is,
I actually for the
working,
first
you know?
time ever at the last live stream was trying not to laugh on stage. I
Yeah.
think it was the spicy meatball line during
Yes.
Honeybee
Oh.
when Camille and I come out.
The
I just
spicy
like dropped
meatball,
my
yeah.
arms and like looked at Steve.
It was great.
That was great.
I think it's like night and day between the two sets. We just attacked our lines. We attacked everything
Yeah.
the second time. It was really good energy.
yeah, well, we weren't ignorant to like what was off about it. It was kind of one of those things like, well, this is a test live stream. Let's just here's our test
Yeah,
set,
yeah.
and we didn't want to like spend too much time like rehashing a new set for
True.
something that we might not have continued.
True.
But then we saw the reception. We're like, okay,
It feels good. I mean, what's great is we're also building. What is it? We're building like bit fragments that we can throw out there anytime we need to
Totally.
kill some time and stuff.
Yeah.
because now we have variations of the same bits, and we could just go into them anytime we wanted to.
Another solution that would obviously make it easier for us is if we actually had an audience for the live streams. But so far, it's just not possible in any venue that we can figure out.
It would allow for a lot more improv, I think. Like it would allow. We would have to have less scripted stuff, and we could probably just do off the cuff more because we'd have.
Yeah, it would match our live shows better. But unfortunately, there's no way to do it, and most of that is if we rent a regular theater. Almost all of them have the clauses that if you're going to do any kind of video, you got to pay a few $1,000s extra to license for video, and it's just like you would never make that money back. Or if you did, you'd make the money back in tips, but then you wouldn't make a profit off of it, and then you're like, well, then why would we even live stream it? So unless you,
it's a hassle, and it's a whole big,
so you'd have to find a venue that would actually allow you to just do it because, and so far that's just not a possibility. There's a few, but the problem is if the venues that I've found, we could only make use of it for a day, and so far, the setup takes about 6 hours the day before, and then a few more hours the day of, and then the show, and then of course teardown is another.
It's a lot of work.
So it's a lot more work than a regular show, just because it's not just the audio system. It's the cameras, it's the soundboard, it's the lighting. It's a lot more than a regular show.
Well, it's a 2-day set up and set down.
And we can't rent out some of these spaces that would allow us to have an audience and not charge us up the yin yang for 2 days.
It might if we found something that was kind of all right with just financially, we could charge like a premium for the audience. People would probably pay to get that experience.
Yeah.
Just like a very small audience.
But I mean, like
finding the venue is so hard.
Spreckles anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 just to have video licensing on top of renting the theater. You're looking at like $10,000 just to rent the theater, not including expenses of. And I mean, we own a lot of our equipment ourselves now that it's been 9 years or so. But even then, it's like.
And the best thing is like what do? They don't do anything. He's like, you just charge somebody just.
But
to have
it makes sense. I mean, if you're going to use a big theater like that, like it makes sense if you're making a Netflix special or something. But it doesn't make any sense.
If you're going to make like that much money on it.
They bring Conan into the Spreckles every year for Comic-Con.
So it makes sense for them because that's like a drop in the hat for them.
Yeah.
But,
True.
But for us, it's like it would be impossible. So even the smaller theaters like, Escondido they still have that kind of stuff. It might be possible in that theater too.
There's the other one. I won't say the name, but there's that other one we looked into originally. It would just cost us a lot more.
The problem with that is that we couldn't rent it out for 2 days.
You couldn't.
I mean, it would cost so much.
It would.
It's cheap to rent it for like maybe 6 hours or so.
I mean, but if you could get an audience in there, they would allow it.
It'd be a smaller space than what we have previously
so
used.
It could.
So basically, what we need to do is we need to have our own theater.
That'd be great.
And maybe that's the thing. Steve has always wanted to own his own theater and like run productions out of it and stuff.
Yo, what's up with the old vaudeville candy shop? Is that still a thing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
So there's a candy shop in North Park that has like a vaudeville stage in the back.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know that it's still a thing, but like 2005, 2006, like I saw Mike there a couple times with the Smart Brothers.
Huh.
It's a really cool like space, and like the people who own it are just like.
I'm sure there are a few places. We've gotten some emails like, "Oh, I saw your live stream. You guys should do it here," but there's a takeaway, and it's like the minute we have to split up that much, then it's like
it doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
It's like we're already paying all this other stuff.
Yeah,
it's
I
tough.
think we got an email like after like reading one of your tweets or something, about the logistics of putting it on. Someone was like, "Oh, you should try doing the live stream in this theater," and I like looked it up, and it's like in Illinois.
Well, we could do it. We could do it at any theater.
We
it's
could,
just it's the costs of
Yeah.
licensing for video that is too much.
But like that's like we'd have to fly somewhere.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we would definitely do it somewhere in San Diego.
Maybe we'll find like a good Samaritan or a friend or something that has a theater connection that
because we know a bunch of smaller venues.
Yeah, there's a lot of smaller ones.
The problem with that is that it turns into more of a live show rather than what it needs to be is a live stream first and an audience second.
Yeah,
and
I see that.
And if we do it at a regular venue where people are just walking up, like it's got to be like online only ticket sales, 1 ticket per person, that kind of thing.
Well, the theater that we did it in last time would be perfect because it's like small. It's a very small theater. Like
we can't talk about what that one is, but but if we are able to get the logistics to work on that, which so far it's not a possibility, we would totally do it. But yeah, so far we're basically making use of our connections as well as calling in favors. That's basically how we're making these live streams work.
It's a lot of work. It's more work than anything we've done in the past. That's for sure. I mean,
it kind of sucks because we do a lot of work to set it up and we do it, and yes, we did make a profit off of it, but logistically, if we didn't have the people we know and stuff,
it wouldn't be.
We could never get it off the ground. It would never be cost effective. So maybe that's just a way to show us that our act is not popular enough to warrant doing live stream concerts.
we're trying.
Yeah.
So I mean, your guys' support goes a long way. So like, every little donation, if you're donating now, thank you, because we love doing these live events, and I think it's integral to the health of our YouTube channel to keep doing like these free things, the podcast,
because it'll grow.
videos.
People will, like you look at the zoo. We don't have too much videos ourselves, but we have a lot of zoo videos just that exist on YouTube. And it took a few years, but those fed us doing gigs after the zoo. So it's the same kind of thing. We might see next year because of these live streams if we keep them up.
Sure.
We've already gotten some emails from people wanting to book us.
There's actually some great clips that we could probably use from these. We should
Oh yeah.
butcher up that, especially that second one. Like, there's so many great songs, like Brass Goggles, or this bit or that bit, that we could just turn into single videos. It would be awesome.
It makes it help for anyone who's trying to pitch you in general, because I know
Right.
a lot of people who come and be like, "Yeah, trying to pitch them to this whatever theme park or this one," and like they didn't get the act, but it's like when you have the act, it's man, here it is. Here's the polished thing.
I just wish we could do the smoke effects. We just haven't been able. It's just too much of a risk in any sort of venue.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of places that we go. They, like, if you're at a big event, the fire marshal has to be there, and they got to disable the fire alarms for. I mean, our smoke packs have never set off a fire alarm, even when they haven't disabled it, because it's not that much. But there's no, and rightly so, there's no venue that will take the risk of setting off a fire alarm, because it costs thousands of dollars in penalties for the fire department to come out and turn it off. And that's why it's such a big deal. But it makes our act look great.
It does. It's unfortunate we can't use it.
Yeah. But I think in the future, if we own our own theater, the problem is we're never gonna have that kind of money.
Yeah.
Own theater money.
I mean, like, if we do pretty well.
How cool would that be, though, man?
But can you imagine real estate in San Diego?
Oh, I know. But like, in like imaginary, like,
least.
had you all the money in the world, like,
Oh,
what
yeah,
a
yeah.
cool stage you two would build.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
we
already have plans.
Oh, I'm sure you
we
do.
We would build Walter Manor
Yeah.
in the
Oh,
comics,
yeah.
but make it like a facade, so it's a theater inside.
Build a theater specifically for your show.
Right.
That's so cool.
With
Yeah.
a gift shop and a
And
deli.
then you can
and
make
the
actual
museum.
automatons out front.
I was thinking like you go into an elevator, you can go down, like you're going like the hundreds of floors down, and you step out and you just see like this giant Steam Powered Giraffe head, but it's not the full thing.
Yeah,
it just looks like it goes on for miles.
I
That'd be
like
awesome.
it.
That would only cost
So-
a couple $billion.
Yeah.
No,
That's
well,
all it takes, a couple billion.
We could, if we had about $1 million, we could probably have a theater.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Only $1 million.
That's all it takes. Hey, people have billions of dollars. That's a thing.
Well, let's see.
that people do.
Because basically you'd probably buy a theater that's already
Right.
something. I mean, because if you had to develop it, you'd need way more than
No.
$1 million.
You'd buy a theater and like you would buy Spreckles and make Spreckles.
Oh,
into, you know what I'm saying?
wait!
Like,
You really think
Oh.
Spreckles is less than $1 million? I doubt it.
Oh
I
my
doubt it.
gosh, oh my
what I'm
gosh.
saying, you'd buy a theater
Yeah.
like that. You'd buy an old school theater like
Yeah.
that, which already has kind of all the the details.
You buy
and
North
the-
Park.
It would be hard. One of the larger theaters probably wouldn't work because, maintaining it, you would have to have shows coming in out of there
Yeah,
all
yeah,
all the time
all
just
the
to
time.
maintain it.
Yeah.
Just to maintain.
You gotta have
all
a
the
Disney
expenses.
level of entertainment.
If you get a smaller theater, you could.
Yeah, because then it could literally sit there for most of the week not doing anything,
Yeah.
and it could be rented out for like rehearsals to other people.
Half
but,
the week is a Harry Potter show. Okay, what's up?
And
Man,
that's-
it pays for
and-
itself.
Yeah, and it's location too. We're in California. Maybe not everywhere small theaters would cost as much,
Yeah,
but
very
here
true.
they do.
Very true.
Well,
Yeah.
we could technically run, but I really like San Diego weather.
Oh yeah, I don't
It's
want to
nice.
move.
It's nice.
But anyways, we don't have any. We don't have anything.
We have dreams. I
We
mean,
don't. We're
It's
not.
nice to dream though. It's not to think about. that kind of
We
stuff.
still live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
doing
yeah.
okay, but you know what I mean.
But yeah, definitely. As always, keep sharing our videos, and if you like us, give us a like.
I mean,
or
yeah,
throw a buck our way. It goes a long
We
way.
could technically do. We could do a live stream concert in Steve's house. but
Yeah.
we would be really smashed together, and there'd be
You
no.
don't want that. You don't want that.
I mean, that would just be.
You don't want
We could do it here, but you know what I mean. It would be garbage.
that. Yeah.
It's not enough space.
Yeah, it's just the theater was so nice to do it in. you know.
Yeah,
That was
I
a great
mean,
one. That was a great theater that we used.
Yep.
That
You know,
unnamed
even
theater.
that other space that we used that was literally just a black box room.
Yeah.
Like that, I would settle for that.
Me too. Yeah. But it's like it's just having your own space. You know,
That'd be
it's
great.
not cool to set up in your house.
Yeah. You know, if we ever, but once again, owning any property, even if you're renting it, if we had a
Yeah.
warehouse space, that would work too.
That's the difference. Like the shrine. Like if you had a space
Yeah.
like that, it's like it's
well,
just
there's a
open,
lot of pillars.
yeah, but you don't have to have the pillars.
Are they
Oh.
roof supports?
Only like one of them's a real roof support. The other pillars are,
Thanks to
Oh, we got super
Two-
chats.
to Tess and D. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thanks for supporting us.
Is that one? What about that person?
No, that's the first one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it like shows it at the top.
I don't.
Someone from England.
Yes,
Oh,
£5
nice.
or sorry. Well, everyone's seeing it on the chat, but yeah, thank you.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll keep up the live stream stuff.
We're gonna do it a little less frequently. You know, after the first one, we just wanted to we wanted to get back into it just
While it was still fresh for us.
and just sort out the technicalities, the lighting, and all that.
Plus, we had an opening and we took it with the
Yeah.
with the space.
Yeah,
so yeah.
that's true.
There's already improvements we can make for the next one.
Yeah, we're looking at probably once a month, unless we're just swamped with actual live shows. And of course, if we just can't work it out with everyone's schedules, then we'll just not do it. But
Yeah.
it's not something that will be on our laurels, because the more shows, the better. Especially since we have a new member, and like Bunny and I have years of like doing these songs and stuff, but we only have like a few shows working with Bryan, and Bryan
Yeah.
needs.
More shows.
More
I
shows.
Do, the better it gets. Yeah.
And it was fine in the past because Sam had the zoo. He
Yeah.
kind of knew most of
Yeah.
the.
He,
Yeah,
he
most
had
of
the,
it
he had the
all.
zoo for 2 summers in a row, and then
Wow.
and then he had what,
Oh.
4 or 5 years performing with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
And-
he was able to his first year after when he became a robot. We it's not that we had more shows back then. It's
We-
that
we
we
did,
already had
yeah.
a bunch of shows. So
And
we were only doing the songs that we already had been doing.
Well, we also were like showcasing his robot out like live, like
oh no, yeah.
he had like a good year or two just to kind of figure it out
Yeah,
before
yeah.
people kind of knew what he was actually doing
Yeah.
beyond photos. But now
Yeah,
that we're
yeah.
like broadcasting,
immediately like you got
Yeah, it's just like, hey,
you got an uphill
here he
battle.
is.
well, it's hard for all of us. I mean, we've
Oh,
never
yeah.
been this intimate with our
Very true.
performance.
Yeah,
Very
well,
true.
I mean, the biggest thing is that when we do record stuff ourselves, we take the raw tracks, and of course we mix it in stereo to make it
Right.
and
Yeah.
make the levels all that.
And we can do different takes usually.
yeah, like if we screw up a song, like we can redo it. But and that's like a great way to advertise
Yeah,
yourself.
totally.
But this, it's a little scary because it's
raw. It's raw.
whatever Steve
Yeah.
is mixing compared to
Uh-huh.
whatever performance is, and
Very true. Which
And-
is difficult to think about too, because it's like we've got our own mix in our ear,
yeah.
and then it's just whatever, So it's a different beast in general, Just getting used to singing like that.
and we're given like a direct feed from the board. We're
Yeah.
not capturing the sound that you would be in a live space,
no.
which I don't know if it would sound better. It would probably sound more natural, but based on feedback from Ultra Robotics Expo, no one likes the live show sound. But at the same time, it's somewhere in between. Like if I had my way, we'd be live streaming in stereo. We're doing mono right now because that's just how live shows are set up.
Yeah.
Which you don't get the dynamics are not the same. Everything's fighting for this mono channel, but it's not how a live show's run. So it would take some technical finagling to be able to stream in stereo, and it would sound good because you could space this even just slightly, and it would open up the sound a lot.
Yeah.
The other option is which Steve and I thought about doing before we did the live stream was we set it up like it's a regular show with our speakers, subwoofers, and everything like a live show, and capture the audio with high quality stereo microphones,
That's
and then
interesting.
you get the sense
then-
that you're in a space.
But
and-
then it's like
yeah.
you got to bring all the sound equipment as well.
Yeah, well, he's already bringing two monitors for you guys. He's using some speakers and it
Okay.
also fills the
Yeah.
space for our ambient microphones
mics,
we
yeah.
use for the audience. But So there's some stuff we could try.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind trying that for the next time just to see like,
I mean, why not?
does it make a better show
Yeah.
if it sounds like a live show rather than you get our microphones directly into your ears?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if you
Yeah.
could overlay that. And that would sound weird, though.
Yeah, because you couldn't mix
You
it.
couldn't do
not
both,
live. Yeah.
no.
I mean, if we captured it and mixed it, sure, it would sound amazing because I could go in lower levels and
That
pay
would be
stuff.
amazing.
But it takes way too long. I'm not even finished with the Sam one that we did last year.
Is on my side.
But if we had a whole team of people, that would be sweet.
Yeah.
But then we'd have to if we had a whole team of people, we'd have to make content every single week to justify having a whole
It'd be
team.
Having a
cool.
whole team.
Maybe one day we'll get there.
Get a
but-
team of writers too.
I mean, between everything that David and I have done, and we have a lot of content. I think right now, like I stream on my Twitch a lot of art. I could move a lot of that over to YouTube now if I chose to. We have the
Yeah.
capabilities, so I'll probably.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's all potential content, so hopefully we'll keep growing and
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to do the easy stuff, the live streams. It's content. It's something to keep people up in the know-how of what we're doing.
Yeah, totally.
And it used to be like every 2 or 3 years we come out with a music video, but now it's like
Well, we kind of once we finish our ideas for the quintessential music videos, it's like, well, we're done. We could if we revisit it, we don't have those members in the band anymore. So
well, we shot some footage, so
Yeah, we have
could
some- we
probably
still-
do one or
we have one or two more that we could do with some of the
yeah,
footage
it's
we shot with
just-
Sam.
it just
But
takes so much editing, so much.
yeah, after Overdrive, I was pretty much like, never again. No.
Yeah, but that's Overdrive is a different example, man. It's a different beast.
No, yeah, and obviously like
you put a lot of extra stuff. in it.
the what's the one we did?
Christmas one,
the Christmas one,
That was
yeah.
really fun.
That was like simple, not hard at all.
It was
but,
cute.
but yeah, no, I want to do more music videos, but
Malfunction was really great. It was a great simple music video. It took a lot of editing, but it wasn't like, like it was really simple. It was
Sure.
just cell phone videos like edited
Yeah.
together.
yeah, you can only do like a similar stuff a few times, and then people kind of catch on that this is all you can do.
Do something different now.
But
something different.
I'm more interested in doing Brian's next song. That seems like a better focus to like.
Yeah.
If we're gonna have a music video, we gotta look
yeah.
towards the future.
Well, that'll be great.
Yeah,
Totally.
Because it'd be cool. I think Progress in Technology from Vice Quadrant would be a great music video, but like it's just what are we gonna do?
You need like a team. I don't know. It's just
Otherwise, just gonna be
if
like
we ever got like a video crew, we could do so much more. But it's just the logistics.
Hey, you got to get like a student film crew. Like go to UCSD and like get some crew that's like doing a project, and then be like, hey, come over here and do this project.
But yeah, so we got all that live stream stuff going. We'll announce the next one whenever that happens. There's no date, but hopefully once a month we'll be doing those. And we'll change up some stuff every time too, most likely. It was almost bright enough. The problem is most live stuff, the cameras just don't pick up the same amount of brightness as your eyes do when you're there in person. And the lights are super bright when you're there, but it takes so much light for a camera like this to pick up. But these walls are white, and usually theaters are not surrounded in white rooms with walls this close.
It's all black.
So
It's
we're getting a
all
lot of
darkness.
reflections back here, and it's not like in a big open black space. So, but I think it could have probably. I had a little bit of room on the sensors last time because of the white backdrop that I could have bumped it up a little bit. It's just one of those things, Most stuff like that would be done in post, and sadly, since we're shooting it live,
You can't do it.
we can't do too much with the brightness and stuff.
Yeah, because it's not like you don't check the brightness levels 35 times. It's like it's just difficult to tell what is gonna.
Well, also you don't want to raise it. The problem that we had with the first stream is that we couldn't make it brighter because it blew all the blacks out, and then it was like, oh, now you're just getting noise, and
Yeah, then it was
it's
out
not,
of the
it's not
band.
making the brightness any brighter.
The second stream looked pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
we could stand for more lighting, but it was pretty decent.
Yep. I mean, we have our the lighting rig we have is adequate for what we're doing.
Right.
It's not quite enough to cover everyone, and obviously we don't have any focused lights on us. It's literally a wash.
It'd be
So
cool
we
to
don't
get
have- yeah.
a projector set up to enlarge the screen size, but I don't know. It just probably wouldn't look that great.
Yeah. The plasma we were able to make use of last time was nice and bright, which helped.
It's just this
We had
tiny.
an
It's just
LCD
kind of.
screen.
It's basically just a tiny little television screen.
Yeah,
It's kind of.
Well, hopefully people see it and say, "Oh, what a cute little show." I'm gonna give them money. Hopefully they can make it better.
I mean, usually we have like a projection or an LED screen, but
I mean, we've already invested a lot just for the live streams. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what I mean. I'm sure we've made enough to pay those costs back, but you know, it's
gotta grow. All this was just like a far distant dream, like a couple years ago.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, we were like, we'll never be able to do that. Like, first we got to get cameras, and because like back then it was like, well, we're never going to be able to afford cameras. We're gonna have to.
You see?
We're gonna have to get webcams, and we're like, that's impossible. You can have maybe 2 USB webcams connected to a computer before it starts crapping out, because the only ones you can use are those Logitech ones, and we're already doing 2 on the live stream for like the Steve cams and stuff, and that's the max, and they still like are glitchy. But yeah, then last year we were able to invest in a camera, and
See, in like 5 years, we'll be able to buy a theater.
and then we've
You
been
see.
and those
You
other
look back at
cameras.
this and be
Never
like,
know.
You remember when I was like, a theater was impossible, and now I own one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
It would be cool, but
What are we gonna come out with you, Brian? That's gonna skyrocket us to that kind of money.
I don't know, man. Just in 5 years, a lot
Start
of
working. We're looking for a honeybee out of you,
yeah.
but like honeybee times 5.
It's called Junebug. It's
we
brilliant.
we gotta fix Steve's mic too. He was clipping like mad on that second stream.
Oh yeah.
Like right when the show starts, like. I don't know.
Well, that's because he's screaming at his microphone.
yeah.
Our microphones that we use are a little better because they're you can't make them do that. They can take in so much
What?
before they
Clip, yeah.
before they clip. But his is
Cool.
just a dynamic microphone. It's like one of these. You know what I mean?
He just needs to pull back. I mean, I don't know.
Actually these are the same microphones he uses, except he has the one with the switch on it, so he can turn it on.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That was the most annoying thing about the stream.
But
is,
once
like, every time
again,
we talked, it
we're
was,
not
like,
able to.
clipping.
There's compressors and stuff on it, but it's very light adjustments for the live stream, because we're using what we do for a live show, like when you're sending all the stuff to different channels, like for a live show, and not that most of you know how that works, but there's front fills, which are usually vocals, subwoofers, all the bass, the low frequency stuff goes there, and then the main fills or delay, if the theater's big enough, all fill out the music and any other sounds. But for a live stream, it's just all going to one channel, and it's way different to mix for that. And also, the stuff is EQ'd for different speaker types depending on the venue, and Steve runs that through soundcheck. And it's not just plug and play. And yeah, with a live stream, it's like he's mixing towards for headphones, these kind that are like pretty nice quality, but like there's no way. It's not like we get to sit down at a booth and like I'm gonna put this equalizer on here. It's very like, what can you do in the moment? And
I get that.
I haven't seen too many live streams of concerts, and the ones I have, they always use a room microphone because it's the easiest way.
Yeah.
We might want to try that. See what it sounds like.
Yeah.
We've been talking about the show. Do we have maybe some questions? Mix it up?
Yeah, sorry everyone.
I mean, we could talk.
Sorry
forever
for
about-
talking.
Oh,
every-
no,
I'm just trying. It's been like
Will you two shut up?
I'm just trying to.
No,
This is
yeah.
And
that's-
I apologize if it looks like I've been really uninterested texting this whole time, but I'm moderating and pulling questions.
I
No,
apologize
she's
for
texted-
always
She
looking.
texted me like 3 times. I'm like, please stop it. Please.
I don't
Say
mean
something,
to
Brian.
look
You're the
at-
only one that can get them to shut up.
Okay, let me see. I have a lot of questions.
Let's take them.
But we should probably get some from the users instead of you.
Yeah. I'll save mine for after.
What are you guys doing later? Well,
Okay, let's see. How difficult is it to sing freely and healthily while using the stiff robot physicality, and how do you overcome it?
oh, that's a
question.
really good
Question.
question. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's from Paige Mizaki.
All right, Paige.
you really have to trick yourself, like, or trick the audience. I mean, you gotta know when to.
Wrong username. No, that wasn't Paige. That was Para Miles.
Paige.
Sorry. I've got yours too, Paige.
You gotta relax. I mean, you can't be stiff. I mean, you just can't.
Yeah, if you have looked at our live stream, you'll notice like the robot is on certain beats and moments,
Right.
and then a lot of it is like we're just kind of being a little more wacky and cartoony,
Yeah, totally.
and then you find your moments for the robot, and the reason for that is to save your energy. I don't know, you've only had a little bit with it, but you feel like you're kind of falling into that same kind of thing.
Yeah, well, totally. You have to, because if you sit there and flex the entire time, like, number one, you're gonna get a cramp. Like, and I felt that the first couple times. I was like, "What is going on?" Like in my neck, but it's like, "Oh yeah," because I keep on,
Yeah.
you hold tension there, but you can't when you're singing. You can't hold tension.
You're gonna
In your
sound
throat,
worse.
yeah.
And so I mean, the voice has to come before the robot. It has to.
Yeah.
If something's gonna drop the robot so you can sing correctly.
Yeah.
Or you isolate different parts of your body that
Right.
are in your neck. And
Totally,
and you know, every time like I
freeze
stop
on,
singing, I'll try to do like a head movement every once in a while.
Mhm.
But you kind of just get, then you start learning muscle memory for certain songs and stuff.
Totally.
But the other thing with all that singing with the robot and stuff is I felt on the live streams, because it was a shorter show, I felt like, oh, I have more energy. I could have given more robot.
True.
Compared to the live show where you have to like sustain it for more than an hour and a half, and then you're like, okay, by the end of the show, like, because I feel like at least I don't know about you, Bunny, but since we've been doing kind of that amount of shows, like I feel like I know how much robot to give for an hour and a half performance. But for the live stream, it totally like flipped it up, and I was like, oh,
Right.
I could have done more, but
I wasn't. You're not as tired.
I felt I did a little bit more in the second one, but still, it was just I could have done a little bit more robots.
I usually like the first few songs. I'll do it. I kind of try to do the most.
Yeah.
And then, but then once I do some of my lead stuff, I'm like,
well, I feel like once the sketches once the skits start happening, it starts getting difficult. 'Cause it's like, you want to be able to physicalize things that you robots wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah.
I think it gets better. The robot gets better once you find your moments for it, like in a set. Like even though we do a lot of improvised stuff, the more we do the same things, then you start finding the parts like in between you're talking. Then you start, you just freeze and start.
Yeah,
And
doing
like
movement.
age can be a factor in physicality too.
Oh, 100%.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm not as good of a dancer as I was in my teens, but it's
like knees and stuff like that. Like I can't get as low as I like to.
You gotta warm up and
totally.
take care of your body, but
And
you
with the Balboa Park videos that people see on there,
Yeah.
like those shows are only like 15 minutes tops.
Exactly, they're
and
short.
we're able to
and
like
you were younger.
we were able to just like we were super exhausted after a weekend.
Mhm.
But those shows were like we did like maybe 2 or 3 songs max, and it was like the robot was full force the whole time.
And then you shut down.
And then we would take a break for half an hour, and then we'd
Right.
do another one, and then we'd be super.
We didn't always
exhausted.
sound very good either, but
No,
but,
yeah.
but yeah, that is a thing. Like people see those YouTube videos and they, time doesn't register for them. That
totally.
they don't realize that those sets are a lot shorter than what they're seeing now.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you gotta change your physicality.
There was a lot to learn when we started doing that stuff, and some of the delays. Like our first thing when we went to concerts was just taking a breather, and that's kind of boring for the audience on stage when you're trying to catch your breath. So the better thing to do, what we found over the years, was obviously to try and limit the amount of stuff.
Yeah.
you just can't sustain it the whole time. You can't. It's just even if you're super physically fit, you're gonna get exhausted. You're gonna just
adding the extra characters, Bebop, Cordy, stuff like
Totally
that,
gives us
which
some
really
time.
gives you focus, gives the audience something to focus on. While you say, okay.
And it's also nice when obviously you'll be in the mix soon with your own song, but like if you don't have to sing lead for every song. Like right now it's like every other song Bunny and I are trading off, but once we get you in there with your songs, then it'll be
ease it up a little.
And it was definitely one of the factors of introducing the ballet too.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's a song that
It's a
it's less
break for you
focus on the
guys.
robot.
Yeah, totally.
yeah.
But it's probably maybe good for you too, because you'll get to the level where you're able to like kind of ease yourself into the robot and stuff.
Yeah.
And then eventually, because you're gonna see yourself doing more work when you start singing your lead songs, right?
True.
It's
But I'm not. I mean, work is work.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like hour and a half. I'm ready to go for that.
Yeah.
I like that stuff. I like this kind of
Good
work.
question.
I guess I should get to Paige's now. Sorry, Paige. You guys talked about tip shout-outs. Have you considered a credits thanking the last show tips movie style at the end of your live stream?
Whoa, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, because we could actually do it. It would be the next stream. You have to tune in
like
next month to see your name on
right.
I don't know.
You
I don't
could
know
do
if that
it
would
like
be.
one after.
Yeah, let it scroll, and then we
Yeah.
can read off names. And then we're like, oh, look at that
like
one.
that
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it might be fun. I mean, it probably kills it for people who want the instant gratification, but there's no way to actually pull the names
the next,
for it.
Yeah, do the next stream. There's no way you.
We could probably think of something like that.
Yeah, we've thought about it. It's just
Yeah.
getting it to work. and
Yeah,
all that.
technical
Mhm.
limitations. It would be sweet if we had by the end of the show we had a list of everyone. But I mean, it's just
Yeah.
we have this super chat and right now, which will probably go away soon because of YouTube stuff. We're musicians and apparently we're not allowed to. Super chat isn't supposed to work for our account, but it is due to our grandfathering of our weird YouTube creators account. So they might be taking Super Chat away from us.
You'll never take my Super Chat away.
But we still have our donation site, and since we have like so many ways that you can donate to us, like that's the hard thing to pull it all from us. But we'll see what happens.
Kennel B. Hunter asks, how do songs evolve? Like, for instance, the lyrics to Starlight Starshine, which changed over time. That one used to be different when you did it about Oak Park.
Yeah. Well, I guess for that, I just took the melody from an older song and completely changed it.
Yeah.
I don't think anything survived other than the melody from it. And I even the chorus is completely new.
Yeah.
I just like the melody for the verse. So yeah,
So it's basically just a melody that you liked, and
it's a melody from another song. I took it, so I didn't change the lyrics because of it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there was a few parts in it that were kind of similar, but I think that's just because
It used to be a lot shorter, and it was I don't know, it was
it's
just
like
funny.
a tongue-in-cheek song.
Yeah.
Wasn't there something about
Chocolate roller coasters in the sky.
I don't know.
All right. Let's see. I don't have a name for this one, but 20/Brian. How long did it take you?
Brian/0. No.
Oh. Who is he first?
How long did it take you to master your makeup routine now that Bunny doesn't help? Any plans on changing up your look?
Ooh, good question. So we did the first two shows, plus the music videos where Bunny did all my makeup. And then for the first live show, just because it was such a hassle, I feel like everyone was working so hard. I was like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna give it a try, see how I can do it, And then after some failing and some, I was like in the bathroom. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I got plenty of time. I was like, I don't have any time. Like I'm messing it all up. But
yeah, that happens.
Got it down, and now I'm kind of getting into the routine of it. And yeah, I don't know like how much it's gonna change. But the more confident I get with it, the more confident I get with my own hands. These hands aren't really made for creating, but like if I the more confident I get with them, the more more things are gonna pop out.
It looks good. It looks good.
Nice.
We had Gabby help a little bit just to, once you see it in lighting and everything changes.
Yeah,
and
true.
Everyone's face is different and does different things under
Yeah.
weird lighting. So it's like, I like the makeup. I like what you're doing.
Gabby had some
nice.
some really interesting tips. I was like,
Right.
I never thought about it that way. So
She was at IMATS this weekend at a competition. She didn't win, but because her airbrush failed during her thing. But she made some cool stuff.
I saw some of the stuff that she made, like the cat alien. Oh, so rad! Yeah, she does such good makeup.
She's great.
Yeah. Next, do we have any more?
Oh yeah. Thanks to David for sharing all those theater photos. Are there any roles you folks wish you had played that you never did?
Oh yeah, I did some Instagram Throwback Thursdays,
Time
Travel Tuesdays.
Dude, that was
every single day.
the one in the jazz studio, or the one. Yeah, that was
improv.
that like blew my mind. Number one. And who was that one? Who's that one girl?
I can't remember her name.
I can't remember her name either.
She contacted me a few years ago, and she moved to Hawaii with her fiance. And but I don't remember. I think her name started with a B. Was her name Brianna? Was it?
Oh, you might be right. But I remember there being like 3 or 4 other people that weren't from Grossmont that just like got weeded out immediately. Like after the first couple times, it was like, well, it's gonna be.
Because Robert Jenkins started the improv troupe, and then he stopped showing up, and then so we kind of just the rest of us kind of took it over, right?
That's so funny.
We got like one show, and then
what did you remember? Do you guys remember the name of the improv troupe? Didn't we make a name for it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, it was something improv.
It was
I can't
long
remember.
though. Yeah.
I know I made a logo for it. I think.
I just remember the one show that we did in the back with like there was like fire dancers.
Yeah,
like
that was our one and only show.
Well, we held like little shows just for our friends and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and at the place.
At the Dolly. It was like a Dolly Dinkle dance studio.
But it was just for us to do town in front of them for 30 minutes.
Oh, it was just for fun after like.
All right, now we're gonna do town again. Everyone, sit there and watch our long form.
And all the videos that we have are from town.
Yeah, but none of the videos were ever good. There were never any funny ones.
There's a few ones.
I forgot what
like
the
you
question
with cheese
was
or something, and you're a Frenchman.
Yeah.
Cheese off dead bodies.
What was the question?
What was the question again?
Oh gosh, it was I guess for all of you.
Can you do town long form?
Oh, any roles that
any
you
roles.
had?
Any roles that you wish you had played?
But on the improv thing, I feel town always divulged into someone being a superhero and someone being a supervillain.
I
someone was always a supervillain.
I was always summoning like some Cthulhu type horror, and David was always coming into my house and beating me up.
It's like, let's go to this gas station. You get to the gas station, and Bunny would be in the back, like with a cauldron. Like, gas you want? I love
too much
it.
fun.
So, what was that?
David, what's the role that you want to play?
Did I want to play?
Yeah.
Wait, that we have played or haven't played?
That you never got to play.
You never got to play.
I never even tried to play anything, but I don't know.
Any musicals you're like, I really wish I could have done. You know what musical I would really like to see you in? Man of La Mancha as Don Quixote.
Oh, okay.
You'd be a good time.
You'd be a great Don.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I obviously haven't pursued that since.
I would. I
Ever.
think Dr. Frankenfurter would be pretty sweet.
Oh, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That'd be pretty. I'm not a huge fan of Rocky Horror, but I think I could do good with those songs.
The show was fun. The show was really fun.
What about you?
I think Cole House Walker probably from Ragtime.
Have you been in a production of Ragtime though?
I was in the Starlight one, so I was like,
Yeah.
I was the only guy with any lines. It was because I think I was the only straight guy in Cole House's gang. So like, it would go around. They would go around the line. Everyone would say the lines, and they'd be like, Brian, why don't you go ahead and say the line? And be like, yeah, man, get off him. Like whatever it was. Like that's all. At Starlight, that's all I was. I was like, can you just say like this line, just kind of mean? They're like, yeah. Get the hell out of here. That's all I ever did for them. But yeah.
I mean, you sung too. In the
I
chorus?
sang. Yeah, I sang. Yeah, it was a great show. I was just in
Yeah.
the ensemble, but it was like one of the best shows
Cool.
ever.
Fun.
Man, it was really
That's
good.
fun.
Really good production.
It's like
Except for
all
the airplanes.
overgrown now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like Jurassic Park.
It's crazy.
They have.
Hey,
they
let's
don't
do a
anything
show there.
anymore?
Let's
no,
do a
it's
show there.
closed down. It's like all overgrown and
Wait,
breaking
why?
and
What
falling
happened?
apart.
Because they can't because the planes fell over.
'Cause
so
no one
they
wants
can't
to go.
sell tickets anymore.
Why
So
would?
it's
Yeah.
either they're gonna people want to put a dome over it so they could have it, or they're gonna I don't know what they're gonna do. But it's like Jurassic Park, and we should go down there and have fun.
Wait, can you actually go in, or is it
100%. Yeah, it's like so. I mean,
they don't have it blocked off?
no, no, they don't. But let's go.
I think
Let's erase this video so that they'll never know that
I
it was
don't.
us.
I don't
but-
think the city has bought it, or they're trying to. It's
No,
up for
and
sale or
my boy
something.
Steve Stopper, who was the sound guy, is like still fighting for it. So like we can call Steve and be like,
I mean,
hey,
maybe we can have.
I shouldn't. Why am I saying this stuff?
But
Maybe
no,
we can put on a
there's
show.
no way. Why would you put on the airplanes going every few minutes? It's so stupid.
Yeah, no, that's why I want to dome over it.
All
But, like,
shows. Yeah.
but had you, it was any of the songs you could hear. So like, if you have concerts there, it's totally fine.
yeah.
It's just I don't know. But it's Jurassic Park right now, so we should.
They
go down
do.
there
They need to
and
put a top over it, and then it would solve everything.
Yeah.
But then, of course, when you do that, you need air conditioning.
That'd be
you
cool.
Yeah.
Shoot a music video there and just like it's all overgrown and crazy looking.
Anyways,
have Raptors. Is that
All
the question?
right. Let's see.
You quit with the
Hey,
question.
SB Giraffe. First of all, thank you for everything. And will your new album be out for 2017?
We're not planning on making another album ever again. No.
What?
we don't have a release date for the next
Yeah.
album. We don't want to get anyone's hopes up. So
Yeah,
I will just say don't expect it this year.
we
But if
had
it is
so
this year,
Time.
then so
we had so many albums all in a row, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just
Well, we weren't able to time. We finished SteamWorld Heist a year before it got released,
Mhm.
and it just happened to drop like a month after we came out with Vice Quadrant, and we didn't know. We couldn't plan it.
there's been a
unfortunately.
lot of saturation the last 3 years. I think it's fine. If
Yeah, we need to build up some hype a little bit too, because we just, Quintessential did all right, but coming off of Vice Quadrant and SteamWorld Heist in the same year,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
our sales were good, but
There's still more we
yeah.
can milk out of Quintessential. So if you haven't checked out that album, it's really good. It's just
It is a good album.
there was no
man.
hype for it because it was like we've already had like so many releases. in
So
a
many
row.
people were like, wait, there's a new one
Yeah.
already? Like, they didn't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, super fans, are on it, and
Yeah.
that's where we get most of our support. But for the casual listener, I mean, they'll probably look us up maybe once a year, twice a year.
Yeah, I
So
get that.
We're gonna wait. We have we're gonna focusing on other projects,
Yeah,
especially the live show.
we might come out. Who knows? We might come out single. We might come out with other stuff.
Options, yeah.
Yeah, we got. We're still working on the comic.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know if you've already talked about this one on the last podcast, but Dante J. Mancini asks, who are some of Brian's musical influences?
Oh, good question.
Well, it's a good question until you hear it every single time.
Yeah.
At
Oh, yeah.
at
At a-
panels.
Who are
Yeah.
your
At a
musical
panel.
influences? I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Beatles were always I'm a huge Beatles fan,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I love I love what Paul does. I love what George does. I love what John does. I even love what Ringo does.
Yes.
But Louis Jordan's probably one of my favorite singers ever. Cab Calloway, those are two like really old school jazz people who everyone is gonna have to look up right now.
Everyone knows Cab Calloway, at least.
Cab Calloway, well, Blues Brothers, they know that.
Yeah.
So howdy ho. He's just so animated. But yeah, B.B. King was a big influence on me, like blues wise.
Oh yeah.
Stevie Wonder, Otis Redding, and last but not least, Levi Stubbs from the Four Tops, who was also the voice of Audrey 2 in Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
The most incredible voice of Audrey 2 ever. Like, no one could ever top that. Like, he is so incredible.
You were pretty good.
And that was like my first high school role. But like, there's something about him, like, not only the way he sings, but the way he talks. I was so impressed for someone who's never done a movie before. His voice acting was phenomenal, man. He's really good in that show. So Levi Stubbs is a big influence on me.
Cool.
Yeah, we basically said the Beatles too, and
Yeah, well, the Beatles.
what was ours were like ELO and Queen, and a bunch of white people.
Queen. Oh, Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury is like the best male singer of all time. So it's Freddie Mercury and it's Aretha Franklin. Like that's
Yeah.
and Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder's up there too because he's got a crazy range. But Freddie Mercury can go way lower than Stevie. He's got a Freddie. Yeah. Sorry.
All right. Let's see.
Bee Gees, that was another one we always say.
Oh yeah.
Because harmonies, that's basically that's the harmonies. That's what we're
Dude,
looking
Barry
for.
Gibbs, baby. Yeah.
Babel Aaron asks, "How do you rehearse new banter? Do you script it out or improv it?"
A little bit of both, actually.
Yeah.
We start with an idea and we just kind of play with it.
Yeah, totally. I feel like it's more Bunny's domain in general, like the improv
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
We come up with ideas and we'll throw it around. We'll throw it around the room, and then she'll be like, "All right, well, let's do this. Like, let's
And
focus
yeah,
it.
and
Let's focus it to
and
this."
sometimes, and we'll sometimes come out with like we'll find something that really funny, like that someone just says out of the blue or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
And then sometimes it doesn't work on the live show.
No,
but we always like, oh, that's real funny.
or vice versa, something that you just did out of the blue in the live show that you will add.
oh yeah,
into,
like the boop.
yeah, exactly.
like-
man. Just something that's
Like on dawned on me, it's like because we're not we don't what people find funny is not necessarily our humor.
no.
And when you do something like that, it's like, of course, Tumblr loves that.
Yeah. Throw it around,
Like at least it's so being able to be receptive to your audience. That's like,
True.
but it's hard to think like them because we are. I don't
We
think
don't
our,
need to. I mean, it's
Yeah.
great because they like it because it was unplanned and
Yeah,
it's just something
exactly.
that came off the cuff.
But
like,
you feel it. It's because it's a live audience
there-
aspect. You
I
know?
feel like that it's a good example. We had another one that was similar to that where we didn't think it was funny, but then when it happened, we were like, "Yeah, Sam, you got to do it again because and you know why it's funny,
Yeah.
but or at least our
What's-
comedy
well,
our
what-
comedy brains.
what
don't
is the
figure it out.
joke?
When we had the before the J-pop reprise, Steam Powered Giraffe reprise, where we all were in Japanese mode and Steve was
Oh.
doing calibrations. It's different
Yeah.
with you, but he had like Spine like, oh, watch this audience, and he remote controlled Spine to slap Hatchworth a bunch of times, and then Hatchworth would grab me and say senpai, why? So we started like you have to say, or no, he just said
Notice me,
senpai.
senpai.
Like, and it was like we put that in because it was like,
Always a
got a
hit.
good laugh. I got a good
But-
laugh.
Especially
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
anime conventions.
Oh, I'm sure.
but it was like I don't think our brains usually go there because I think our humor is a little different, right? I feel that way.
I think we have a very dry humor.
Yeah.
I would say, but
Yeah, I get that joke. I can get the reference, but I don't really think it's funny. You know?
Yeah,
like,
it's not. It's,
it's not
I mean,
really funny to me.
it's funny
I
because
just
and
understand the reference.
once you, yeah, it's
I mean,
not. It's not funny. To
humor
me.
is always a weird. We have a lot of different types of humor going on through our act. Sometimes we say
Very
stuff
true.
that we don't even find as funny. Even just the way we say something can be funny.
Yeah,
It
that
is.
not
It is weird though. It's
intentionally
like sometimes when you have that joke and you're like, I know this is gonna land, but I've never laughed at it myself.
Yeah.
And you say it and it's like, and you're just like, ah, eat it up.
Take it.
Well, I just stole one of your lines before. I can't remember. Like every once in a while, like you don't say your line. I did it a few times over the
can't
years.
remember.
I don't remember, but it was more recently at a show with Sam and then I took your line. And I looked at you like, yep. Now I'm the hero.
I think the audience.
probably-
were in
yeah.
on that too.
Yeah.
They were like they understood that you took it. And it was.
But
It's funny. I mean,
and then stuff that we find hilarious.
Nobody will forget. Yeah,
And you're
yeah,
just like, no, okay.
you never know. You never know.
But that's what I like about you too. Is like your sense of humor is so like on par with mine, and I feel like we can go in a place improv wise, and that nobody else will ever be able to go.
Most of our first improv with you for the first show was. It was a lot of the robots are asses to each other.
Shut down humor. But it's so funny to me. It's funny to me too. So.
The whole Mr. Potato Head thing. That's like I still find that funny. But
I actually saw some comments who were like, they're being so mean to each other.
Don Rickles now.
Don Rickles passed. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Mr.
Just
Potato
this
Head.
past week.
Yeah.
I guess it's in poor taste now to even do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's the man. I love him. It's interesting because I did with the routine we had a bunch of cover songs that we do David Bowie. We did like 3 people who died like last year. I'm like, maybe we should stop covering songs. I feel like like every time I talk about someone that died.
The curse.
Yeah, dude. I'm like,
okay, let's do a non.
So what you're saying is you're doing a Toy Story song.
yes, you got a friend, and news. Randy Newman died.
Here's one that's not related to the band. Miefling asks, have you ever stopped watching a show or playing a game because a spoiler ruined it for you? If so, what was it that you stopped? I was trying to think of one for myself. I don't know if I've ever not watched something because of a spoiler.
I've definitely was playing a game. I think it was the Metal Gear Solid, the newest one, and the last one. But and I think I read something just like it was on someone's comment, and I was like, God, I should have just stayed off the internet. And I'm like, and once you even just reading a little bit about it, then your brain like makes all the connections to that, and they don't even have to explain it to you. You just because that's my worst thing is that my brain's your own worst enemy. Like don't even hint at it because my brain will try to piece it together, and that ruins it. But I still enjoyed it. It would have been so much better if I found it out myself.
I got spoiled for Star Trek Into Darkness, and the big twist or whatever was like exactly what I was hoping would not happen, and I was like, God damn it.
I don't know.
I know there's been others, but
I definitely spoiled Star Wars for somebody. But like it was a long time.
Oh, actually, I think I got spoiled for that one too.
It was a long
galaxy.
Yeah, far, far away. So I don't feel so bad about it. But then someone semi-spoiled Rebels for me. It was just, I mean, the way they phrased it was
Rebels.
Rogue One. Yeah. It's not Rogue Squadron, it's Rogue One.
Rogue Squadron is a video game for the
awesome
N64.
video game for 64.
The big Force Awakens spoiler, the very first day the movie came out, someone was posting the spoiler all over NASA's Instagram photos.
Oh, word.
And I follow NASA, and I was like,
oh, no.
I didn't even I just thought it was like.
Basically, if you're going to see a movie that you really just don't look at the internet.
Don't look at the internet and go see it. Like, go see the movie immediately.
Like, sometimes you follow, like, news sites and their titles are spoilers.
And you're like,
how
how
the
could
images
you do
is
this?
a spoiler.
How could you do this to people?
To be fair, I'm not really that concerned with spoilers. Like, I'm not one of those spoiler phobes who's like, don't talk to me. But like sometimes
I mean, people are being assholes
come
about
on,
it now.
you're an
it's
asshole.
like they'll set up like, oh, do you remember this from the 90s? Like
Yeah.
Game Boy, clear phone, like Yoda dies in Return of the Jedi. It's like, dang it, and they're doing it like the day after the movie comes out. And I'm like, that's not cool, man. Like, don't be an asshole like that.
It's different if you didn't get on the train and go see the movie in the first month.
Like a month later, go ahead, you do whatever you want. But
I just saw Arrival and I didn't get that spoiled, and it's like that movie is totally about the twist.
Yeah.
Arrival's great.
Kind of related. I just think it's a really cool story. My mom, back when Empire Strikes Back came out, she actually read the novelization before she saw the movie.
What?
So like, she felt like she was in on this big secret because she was the only one she knew who read the Star Wars books, and she says she still remembers she was camping with her family reading it, and she read, Luke, I am your father, and she just like put it down. She like looked around like, what? And then like the movie didn't come out for like another month or so, and she always tells me the story about how she felt she was the only one in the theater who knew it was coming, and she watched the reaction. It was like historic for the time.
Dude, can you imagine being in Empire Strikes Back and like seeing that?
Yeah.
But Force Awakens had that moment too where Chewbacca kills Rey.
Oh yeah.
I mean, seeing that and not expecting
it was very graphic too. I was really surprised they showed Chewbacca do that,
ripping her arms off.
Yeah, I know they talk about it, but like seeing it happen,
great. It was great being there with all the fanboys and seeing that moment happen.
All the Chewbacca growls.
There was actually applause, standing ovations.
Yeah, they applauded
theater
with arms, like mannequin arms, like they knew it was coming.
I like
that. How did you know it was coming?
I wasn't dissing the actress or anything. I actually think she's great.
She did a wonderful job. I think you're a terrible Instagram for bullying her off Instagram.
That's the best. That's the best part about the Force Awakens was the casting.
Yeah.
They did a really good job with Rey and Finn and Poe.
And they made all the ships look really cool. They were all black.
Yes.
So it looked really cool.
Darkness.
Any more questions?
Oh yeah, let me
We
see.
yeah, I think we've been on for an hour and a half now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I'm just gonna press live and see.
I'm just gonna do neck
Which
movements
really?
for a while.
Will we see Daughter of Space in a live show someday?
I
I don't know if that's directed
We have
towards.
so many songs.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing's off the table. We just
Except for
gotta get
this.
to it. We're hoping to bring back some stuff that you're not expecting, but it's just, or bring new stuff to the table. It's just, well, only so much we can do.
I just want to make sure that our stream is still working.
Yeah, I believe it is.
I see an ad. I can't even watch it.
Ooh, what's the ad for?
Fate of the Furious.
Oh my goodness,
Oh
I can't wait to
my.
see that movie.
It looks like it's working still.
Okay, let's see.
As long as someone's checking the chat, so in case it.
Oh,
craps out.
I've had the chat open
Oh,
like the
okay.
whole time. It's fine.
How long? Does it say? This doesn't say how long we've been going.
I'm just gonna eat this mic while we're.
Peter Reynolds, VA. Given Hatchworth's high voice and Zero's low voice, what kind of impact has that made on the show?
A medium voice.
Yeah, you haven't actually. Yeah, you
They
haven't
combine their
actually.
powers.
Haven't actually heard some of our new harmonies, other than like
Right.
maybe Marshmallow World, but it definitely gives us a different structure to the harmonies.
Totally.
So, it's gonna sound good. The ones that you're singing on now, for like, you're basically just taking Sam's,
a lot of
yeah.
John stuff too.
And
It's
John
like,
stuff
you
too,
know, we're
yeah.
doing a lot of older songs.
Ev-
so.
every member's had a different range, so it's
It's tough, but
It
luckily
always
you've got
changes.
quite a range, so you're able to fit in there. Sam
was very
he
high.
struggled with the lower stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so-
I struggle with some of the high stuff. That he's
Yeah.
got some really, really high stuff. I'm like,
But
I don't
any
know
new stuff we
humans
build
can
is
sing
like
that.
perfect for all of us.
yeah. I mean, it's just different. There's no good or bad. It's just everyone has a different range, and we just have to make adjustments based on
Yeah.
everyone's singing range.
There was a few songs that we adjusted with Sam just because he couldn't do something and
Right.
whatnot. But
You know-
you've seen so far the ones that we've thrown at you. It works.
What's great is that I know Brian can take a lot of my old harmonies for some of these older songs that we haven't ever brushed up and do the low parts. And I can go a little higher, so
Yeah.
I can take a lot of John or Sam's parts on some of these older ones, like
Yeah.
Rex Marksley.
If we ever do that one again, yeah.
There's
Can you?
been
I
a-
mean, he would nail that part. Like
Also, I
Yeah,
was gonna
what is the
say-
harmony? Rex
Oh, yeah.
Marksley.
Marksley.
I don't know what the harmony is. I was just singing the song.
That's it.
All right.
Learn it.
In the
there's-
West.
It gets
Rex
really
Marksley
I like that low stuff though.
Came to gunslinging. He was the best.
Damn.
Davy
So
Crook.
low.
There's been a lot of fan clamor to hear you do Suspender Man too.
Suspender man, call
Oh,
a
sorry.
vendor.
I can't
Beat
cut it out.
suspenders.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do about YouTube now.
Well,
Now we're so
Sorry.
important.
no one never would talk about it, and no one will ever notice. Yay!
I think I have to let YouTube know or something. It
I
might,
said
don't
puck
know.
no, like hockey.
Like,
I don't really know.
This summer's my dream. Yes.
I'll label it explicit on the.
Explicit.
I can probably.
Sorry,
You can
guys.
probably explain it.
Wait,
I have a dirty mouth.
someone write down the time because I have to cut it out of
It
the,
was an hour, 1
the
hour,
audio, but I can't cut it out of the video.
2:34 p.m. or an hour 34 minutes in.
Cool.
We're
The
writing that
Suspender
down.
Man-
I will write it down.
Spider-Man would be really good. I think with our current lineup, we could do some great stuff with it. But we could do that with
Yeah.
a lot of songs.
But no, with Suspender Man, they probably mean the actual Suspender Man part.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because
I
remember,
mean, any of
yeah,
it. I don't know, but
I mean,
That'd be
of course,
cool,
I
too,
would.
to hear
I
you
had
sing
Brian in
Suspender
mind,
Man.
like visually, like if we ever want to do a live action one. So we gotta film him in the costume and just like
yeah.
jamming.
I'm down with it.
because yeah,
All this.
Steve used to like put some weird demonic effect on my voice when we did it live back when. Yeah,
It
My
sounded
voice
cool.
already sounds like a demon, so it's cool.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Here's a lore question from Electric Forest for Bunny, probably. Is Commander Cosmo Rav's moon prince? I think a moon prince has been referred to by you in the past, is what they're saying.
Oh no, I mean Commander Cosmo is not royalty, so I mean that's.
So obviously
I have
not.
gotten this question every week we do the podcast.
Are they-
So
I
I thought
mean,
I would ask.
I
it.
guess a more simpler question is, are they lovers? And I'm like, I don't think Commander Cosmo, at least in his ascended form,
He's like Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's kind of beyond all that. So
Yeah.
I mean, even if Rav had a crush on him or they had like a bromance going on that maybe was a little bit more intimate, I don't know. It's like they're aliens basically at that point. So
Well,
who knows?
hopefully that's a satisfying answer.
Maybe they had mental intercourse.
Oh, my favorite.
That's like a Vulcan mind.
But you
meld.
know, it's kind of like it's the Mass Effect 3 thing. Like if the whole world's going to heck, like why you don't have time to romance people?
Well,
I don't know.
technically-
Jack Shepard had some couple romances, if I remember correctly.
Jack Shepard.
Is that what?
That was his name, right?
Oh, I was
I don't-
thinking
mine was
Lost.
female. I don't
I'm
know.
a big Lost
Wasn't
fan.
his name Jack Shepard?
I don't know what the default name was, but
I think it was.
Yeah.
but
It's
my last playthrough was FemShep, so
Oh yeah, it's also
Fem-
implied that
Femsh.
Commander Cosmo and Rav probably had years of adventures before he became like a crystal person. So you never know. You never know.
Could have happened.
All right. Here's another kind of lore question. Quinsley Quinn asks, "Will you guys use Peter Walter VI in any of your shows, or is he just part of the comics?"
I guess we haven't because it's convoluted for a live show. I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
Didn't- yeah,
we have a
guys did, like,
picture of him
video
in the
of him,
beginning.
right?
Like that's kind of like
We're
Wait,
like
Peter
the
Walter
touch
the
to
first.
him.
Yeah.
They're talking about
I think we were just.
the first or the
probably the
Six.
current one. Yeah.
I think we were just talking about this morning, like how lore doesn't really come into play in the stage
stage,
shows.
yeah,
It's more
yeah.
just like for fun.
Well, it's also like it's a lot of
in the
information
background.
to throw a new person.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're summing it up in like, oh, they built a robot giraffe back in a long time ago, and now here's the band. Like to put more of that into the show would
It confused it.
it would just make it like I mean, it's great for fans who are following it, but like a comic book, it's like you couldn't explain everything.
yeah.
yeah, he's really weird looking, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work for a live show. I mean, we've had some video of him, but we kind of like it that he's mysterious, and he probably would be
Yeah.
if he's
Yeah.
he's,
100%. Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
disfigured. He has to wear a mask because he doesn't have a face.
and you know, it's also serves the comic more like if to try to match that up. I mean, if we were bigger maybe, but we got to work. We were
Yeah.
working on the scale.
but we do
of
have
what
we
can
do have actual Peter Walter. I think we have one mask left. I think one of them got destroyed, but
It's okay. It's the you can't open your mouth because the mask isn't big
we were
enough.
gonna, you know, we were giving him a redesign in the comics a little bit. So, but it's just to make him look more human. But he's for the comics. You know, his story is.
And once again, our comics and our lore, that's not how we make our money. We're banned, and unfortunately for anyone
Yeah.
who wants more lore. Like, and if we ever came up with I think I posted on my Twitter this morning, like if we ever come up with a Steam Powered Giraffe cartoon, like it's going to be 15 minutes, and it's going to be the robots picking up dry cleaning from G.
Well, I mean, you can build,
you know
you
what I
can
mean?
build a universe
You
there.
could,
it's not,
but
it's
it's-
easier in a cartoon.
But you
or
know,
something.
you know how it is. Like the most successful properties have wide appeal, and then the stuff for superfans is dotted in it.
Yeah,
I mean,
agree.
yeah.
The minute you get to a show that's only for the superfans,
Uh,
no one wants
yeah.
to. No one can keep up with
Right.
it.
I
And
mean,
and I feel that way. You don't
as
want to
much-
alienate.
as much as the
everyone.
super fans don't want to hear that, it's gonna make you lose sales. Like
I'm-
you know,
I'm not-
people
yeah,
aren't
maybe.
gonna get it. Like I don't know.
I feel like
if it's very tailored for like the lore and the people who already know the mythology, then people aren't gonna really get it.
I think Vice Quadrant kind of was because Vice Quadrant had a little bit of the robots, but it was pretty much like you can't follow it unless you go to the avenues to learn the story. But as far as it's just music, so
Well,
that's why we get away with it.
think about like Marvel's universe. Even Marvel's cinematic universe is ginormous, right? But
Yeah.
there's no way they could tell all the stories of like all these characters. There's so much depth to them. But the fact that you have all these comic books and you have all this prior knowledge is kind of better. You know, it's like oh, I know what happens to Wolverine. Like he's like one of the most tragic characters ever. You know, like I know all
Yeah.
this. So like knowing about Scout Gates Gunner, knowing about the lore is
Sure.
I feel like it's cool in itself.
Not that we wouldn't dabble in that stuff. It's just I don't know if anyone's waiting for us to to come out with stuff like.
well, we've done more. Like we've put in the additional characters, QWERTY, Bebop, Gigi, and
Yeah.
and Gigi even talks about the history and a little bit.
Mm.
It's just we're never gonna have a thing like where we have exposition on stage because like we do a little bit, but it's like that's just not how you would do a show, right? It's just not. It doesn't. You can't. It's not a. If it was only about like a certain aspect of it, but then maybe. But I mean, the show it would take the whole show to tell that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why the comic is a great avenue for all that stuff because we can build upon it. And obviously, we kind of know where the story's going, and it has a definitive ending for at least that first comic. But I don't know about, like, I don't think our show's going to turn into, you have to know, here's the book to read up on before you go to our live show. We've always kind of geared
Everyone gets a pamphlet when they come in.
I think we've always geared it towards, like, the robots are putting on a show, just a regular concert. Like, there's no fourth wall breaking other than you have to believe that we're robots. And then we're performing a show, we're performing music, and the show kind of breaks down. And that's basically the bit, is that, can these robots put on a show? I think that's kind of the general idea of it. Yeah.
Totally.
But we also have a backstory to it, because that's what makes it fleshed out a little bit, right? But I don't know the bridging of those gaps it's very subtle, and I think we've just been taking cues from, like, how most people do it. Like, any things that I see so convoluted is like people can't even grasp onto it, because the super fans, quote unquote, they're not going to be the ones that are they're not showing up in droves,
I read a review, I can't remember the name of it, but it was about someone getting new into the act, and they understood that, on the surface, seeing a show and stuff, it's very basic, but it's only as convoluted as you want to delve into. So it's like all that content's there for people to explore. Yeah. And it's not so convoluted, but I mean, you can look it all up and understand it in a matter of hours.
But people who aren't in fandoms, like maybe like maybe some parents, there are people who really delve into it, but there's some people who, us being robots is too much to wrap their brains around. You know what I mean? Those kind of people, that's the mass appeal. I look at something like Rick and Morty is a perfect example. Like, there's all that stuff is there for the people, the deep stuff for people to look into, the heart and all that stuff that's in there. But the rest of it is these quick cut these jokes that are rapid fire, and that's mass appeal. And the majority of people who enjoy it, it's not just the super fans that you see on Reddit and stuff. It's that anyone who's ever watched it finds it funny, but they don't get it the same way as the super fans get it.
No.
So, but that's why it's successful. It's
so much more to it.
It's successful because of the stuff that you have, that fans like, continuity, and maybe the general audience will catch on to that as well. But because it speaks to them first, that's why it's successful, I think.
I get that.
And I don't. There's not too many examples of that though.
We've always kept it that way. That's going into it. We were like, we'll bring a little bit to the table at the live shows, but it's just to hint at it. And I think once again, Peter Walter, he's a very weird looking character. He's weirder than the robots, and because you just don't know what he is. Your mind doesn't know. You have so many questions when you look at him.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing as being an audience is, if you're frustrated because you're not going to get those answers.
Yeah, there's always going to be the faction of fans who want all the answers, but honestly, I think for the majority of people, the intrigue is what's exciting and interesting.
Yeah, don't ever get all the answers. They're never as exciting as the question ever,
like,
ever.
Imagination and theorizing on things is like a big part of what makes people fans of things.
Yeah, totally.
He was definitely his design. A lot of the designs, that when you get into the extended lore, are pretty weird, and I think the robots are a little more grounded, just slightly, but but it's cool because
we're the normalest thing, and
I mean I know that seems weird, but
I love that.
If you look at all the creatures and stuff that in Kazooland and all the designs that Sam and I have come up with, it's like it's very like it's like a whole nother world that exists.
It's a great thing to build. Like I know we've chatted about it over the years, but like if we had like a cartoon, you would start it like just the robots being in real life, because that's amazing enough in itself.
Right.
And then like once you're on your sixth season and you're out of ideas.
You have there's so much.
Then it's like, well, let's open this portal and go to Kazooland.
Right. Well, there's like we have a whole history about pantomimes and the Clown Wars and all this stuff that.
The Clown Wars.
But there's so much.
I want to see that movie.
Right. But smartly, you would want to build up a fan base for a cartoon. You got to look at the examples of like something like Adventure Time.
Adventure Time is a great example of
it's
so many weird characters every episode.
Yeah. But it's accessible from the get-go, like as it started out.
It's a kid having an adventure.
And
with
then
a dog.
the last seasons felt really tailored to people who were stuck with it.
Yeah, and it's also the last.
But they still read. I mean, you can still watch it and enjoy it. Like they still have a story that they explain to an extent.
Man, I wish we had a cartoon.
I love
it. Would be so much like Adventure Time, just in that sort of.
Well, I think, I mean, the only thing we could, we're not going to be able to make a cartoon ourselves. That's impossible. I mean, we'd have to, but what we can do, what we've talked about before a long time ago, is we just make a 15-minute pilot, and we we just do storyboards and we do the voice
pitch it and we pitch it.
And then have someone else do the animation.
Because we can edit and we can do the timing, we can do all that ourselves.
Yeah.
But and then because usually you would come up with those edits well before it was animated anyways, so it's kind of like we kind of know the process already based on like behind the scenes of animation studios and stuff. But and that's what we would have. And to be fair, line art with just our voices and stuff, I think would be probably pretty good.
I mean, you do it like like Tom of the Bear status. It's just like little slight changes of your expression.
Just watch any little storyboard animatics of any of these animated shows. Like that's what they send stuff in Korea to do, and then they have the character designs and that's what I think we could do that, and then we ride that 1 15-minute
forever
episode like for years until someone's like, oh, maybe this is good. But to be fair, it's probably just gonna be more of the same of what we already like. It's just gonna be another Rick and Morty /
I mean,
but we need more of those. All right, I need more of those cartoons in my life.
But it just writes itself. I mean, you already have robots, and then
it not only has that, but you have an element of music to it. So
I mean,
every episode would have a song, even if it's
something stupid.
That aspect, and that's really cool. And Bosburgers kind of has that. Where like, there's something like I really like about like they don't ever use like the real song. They always have like one of the characters singing the songs in like a bad way. It's just fun.
I mean that's carrying over from their because the creators of home movies and stuff did that. They did that too, and it sounds pretty similar to that.
Yeah, gosh, but we need a cartoon.
Well. We can do the pilot. That's easy.
We're doing some stuff similar, like Robotime Steam Show is, it's kind of like...
What if we had a sketch comedy?
The bare minimum that we can do, and I'm trying to put a song in every episode or something, but it's just...
But, the problem is not coming up with ideas. The problem is the execution, because it just takes so long to edit something. It takes time to do everything.
There's so much animation, so many... so it's just... Anyways, maybe we have a few more questions.
Yeah,
then we'll call
we're
it a
winding
day.
down. I only have like
Sorry,
one or two left.
Nice 2-hour podcast.
Call Me Spooky G asks, do you guys think you'd ever be able to do another Walter Robotics Expo convention concert type thing in the future? You did one in 2013.
Yeah, and that one came together all right. It was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work, and we put a lot of prep into it, so we were able to hype it up a lot. And because it had the facade of being a convention, which it wasn't. It was just a show that lasted all day, and we had other acts
and vendors, right?
And there was stuff to do, but really it was like it wasn't a convention because everyone's doing the same stuff. You're watching the show, or you're watching some of the other performers. The only thing is, it was profitable. We made all our money back, but we made less money than if we just did a regular show in a theater, because the expenses just got so high. I mean, we flew in other acts, and then.
We've talked about what we could do differently, and I think we'd probably make it more like a convention. And since there's not a whole lot to do there, you would just say, okay, here's when the panel is, here's when the concert is, and we'll have some vendors outside. But it's just finding the right venue and the money, and
it's like when you look at other conventions that are around just one thing, they are smaller in scale, like than even what we did at Walter Robotics Expo. It's like
some of those, like,
because everyone's going to the panel with the creators, you know what I mean?
Some of those like video game conventions are good, like Eve in Vegas, or which are pretty big, but they're still like, it's just, if you're going to an Eve convention, that video game, it's you're only gonna see the same thing.
No one's gonna be like, I'm not going to that panel. Like, everyone's going to the panel to see what the developers are working on.
It would be really cool. I think an SPG con, like an actual convention, like even if it was a tiny, like just in a small hotel, it would be pretty fun.
But once again, like since we have we have that already. We know the experience of what we did, so it's tough to justify it with the amount of money you throw into it and what you'll get back.
You'd have to start like a year in advance planning just to try to build up hype and get tickets.
And we have to be honest, that year that we did that convention, we did not come out with an album. And then we took the next year to edit the video for that performance, and it's just like it takes up so much time. Yeah. And we did other shows obviously, but it shifted gears, and we didn't create much other content except for that kind of stuff.
It'd be fun. We'd need like a whole group of organizers.
But once again,
$1 trillion.
We're not super popular. Like, we got a lot of people to show up, but in comparison to like some of our bigger shows at other places that were pretty hyped, like UK, like we had less people than we came to the UK show at that convention. It was still more than like some of our smaller theater shows, but. We probably had around 700, 800 people for that convention.
All right.
But You know.
So it was larger than most of our,
Yeah.
but it was. The show was all right.
The show was
Ultra
all right,
Robotics Expo was kind of a mess, but it was all right.
It was a long day. It started noon, or I don't know when it started. We had other acts and
Sounds
stuff.
tiring.
Yeah, and we got people to perform for free too, and it still cost us money.
Someone sent us a 3D GG model they made.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It's in.
Very
I think it's
cool.
in Second Life.
There we go.
Oh yes.
Nice.
It's really good actually.
Yeah.
Super great.
I like how she's like sitting
Yeah, what's
cross-legged.
up?
Do we need?
Hey.
We should like send that person an email about making our CG Bebop.
I only had one more question.
Sure, let's do it. Let's make it a good one. Or you only have one, so it's.
Well, it's gonna be what it is.
Make it a good one. Change
Amp
the
it up.
question.
Matthew White 11 asks, hypothetically, how would
Oh.
someone maximize their chances of becoming the next member of Steam Powered Giraffe?
Boy, this is not the question I was hoping.
I'm sorry, that's all I
Maximize
had
their
left.
chances.
Well, hypothetically, you probably have to do a Tanya Harding status where you just kind of come over here and take out my knees.
I guess hypothetically they're asking what would the audition process be for Steam Powered Giraffe?
Well, we've never auditioned anyone we don't already know.
Yeah.
And that's in most of that is a liability kind of thing, like, or it's insurance for us in a very vague sense. Like if we hire someone that we don't know, like the idea of introducing someone new and then them not working out in a few months and it's just obvious it's not going to work and having to get rid of them, that hurts the image. I mean, we've already been through that multiple times, even on good terms with members. It's like changing up the image of your band is a big thing, and we've done that a million times already. But
it's
It's
tough.
always a big.
so you
big
want
step.
to make sure someone's committed, and it's not, and even if they're committed, then if you're like, oh, this isn't working out, like, and also we're small, so it's not like we have clout of like our incentives for people to be in the band are like, you might make money. You know what I mean? Like, so it's
tough.
it's
But yeah, I mean,
both sides.
if we had to go, if we didn't, if we burned all our connections, we've looked at all of them, and we had to we just had to take auditions. We had to, it'd be videos and stuff, it'd be like we'd have to base it on live performances and stuff.
I guess it's
and
an interesting thing to think about,
The
but it's not something, not a process that you're looking to
Yeah,
do.
obviously. I mean, we have Bryan, and he's our golden goose.
Oh yeah.
He's our next honeybee.
Well, it's there's the thing is like, well, it's also like the fact that like all your stuff is based here. It's like,
Yeah.
if you don't live next to you, it's
and
gonna
there's
be
nothing, and
difficult
there's
for
no
you
way
to-
we could be like, oh, you'll be able to make rent out here in San Diego where the rents are
Yeah,
ridiculously
yeah, right.
high.
Yeah, move out here, then you can hang out
You
with us.
kind of already have to be here.
Plus, it's like I mean, I'm not going to say we're never going to hire someone that's less talented than ourselves. You know what I mean? And maybe that's an insult, but like
No.
Brian's like got a great set of pipes and he's got like great improv skills. You know what I mean? Like Sam had great musicianship and had
yeah, I
had
mean,
all that
they
stuff,
definitely we're looking for people that can bring something unique too that we can't bring.
right. Because I mean the thing is like we know theater folks. Like I mean, and like if someone one of our friends wanted to be in it, like it'd be like, well, what's their experience? Like nothing. Well, of course we'll take someone that has experience over someone that doesn't, because it's already what we're given is already new experience.
True.
I
Any
mean,
leg up is gonna help.
When Sam joined, he was a great musician, great singer, pretty funny guy. But it's not like he had some experience, but it took he was drumming with us for
Yeah.
like a few years, and then
But
he
we
did-
grew a chemistry with him, so
Right.
we already kind of knew like, oh, he's reliable. He shows up to all the
Yeah,
rehearsals. He shows up to this. He does what the job entails, and he doesn't get us. Like it's a safe bet. It was a safe
Yeah,
bet.
yeah.
Yeah.
I could see the band changing if it's just we can't get someone who can actually do the robot and play musician to have like
Yeah.
that. Maybe the third person becomes the human member, and they can be like a drummer or something.
Yeah.
And it's possible.
The
It's
only
like
the only thing I mean we're just we'll never the main issue is like the more people we add to the band, like we culled the band because it was too expensive to fly us out.
Yeah.
We were hemorrhaging money for
I'm just saying, like,
years
if we
there.
couldn't find that third robot, we could make it a human if we wanted to.
Yeah.
It wouldn't.
If we
be
did,
ideal.
if we did ever, I mean, if we went to 4 people, the only thing I would imagine is we need someone who could do the robot and was like an ace on like electric guitar or something. Like that would be. But they would have to bring something that would be like that we can't provide ourselves. But we're not looking for something like that because we don't really need another robot. We don't need any more someone that's great at improv right now. You know what I mean?
I think it's also like the 3 works because the more people you get on stage, the more busier it seems, and like
Word.
you have all these great
Yeah.
extravagant costume people on stage, and they're just kind of standing around waiting for their time to shine. And
Well,
it's like
duos are great, but 3 is the magic number because 2, there's only you can have this interaction.
Yeah.
3, you get this, and 4 is convoluted. And
Yeah.
that's just how it
Well,
works.
especially with all the
Yeah.
improv that you do, it's like four people
And
improv.
and that's
It's
not-
very
I mean,
different.
Yeah.
Very different.
I mean, isn't there the comedy rule of 3? It's like a big.
Yeah, it's true. It's
Big
true.
thing.
Well, comedy rule
It's
C
like-
is
that's like
is
time,
time.
though, time.
but,
Well, yeah.
But yeah,
but people who, yeah, I mean, we didn't make that.
I mean,
up.
we could have like backing musicians, and that'd be fine. That's just more of a cost.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Cost.
There's just no way. There's no smart way to do that. We tried that for years, and we just did
we
not
tried
work.
it for a year.
Yeah, we didn't have that full band for very long before it was just like, this is not going to be financially viable.
No, I mean, and it's nothing like, oh, they're too expensive. It's just like, you think about flying someone out to a show, like
Yeah.
you're even at a minimum anywhere in the United States, you're adding at least $300 onto your plane tickets, double that, 600. It's basically $1,000 extra cost that who's gonna eat that up? Like, and then if someone performs like for free and just like, oh, it's fine because we'll make CD sales and I'm on those CDs, like. It doesn't matter because
Yeah, you
who's
still-
paying for their
you gotta
room,
rehearse.
who's paying for their travel. It's like
Yeah, it's why like when some maybe some concerts or venues, they want to bring back old members, and they're like, well, that would be great. It's generous of you to
Oh,
offer that,
yeah.
but we haven't rehearsed with these people in
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
And rehearsal is time and money. Like
I've seen that a
that's-
few
Yeah.
times. Like, I'll give you this much money if you fly so and so
who's
out.
gonna
But
pay?
it's like,
Who's gonna pay for the rehearsal?
they
Who's gonna
haven't
pay for all
rehearsed with
all
the band in
time?
years.
and we'd have to go out of our way to like rehearse
For one show.
I think
or-
that-
and,
Yeah.
and to be fair, it's like the cost of even doing that would be. It just doesn't make any sense. Like we would do it for like an absorbent amount, probably, but only because it's like we'd be stupid and not to do it because we could take that money and invest it into something else.
Yeah. Well,
but
see, if money's always the issue, we could do anything if we
But
want.
yeah, we'd
Yeah.
be paying someone to not so they didn't have to work for whatever week. And what if they had a job and they could? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense. Like okay, you don't have to go to your work. We're rehearsing for the next 2 weeks. for
People
this
don't
one
think
show.
about that though. They
Yeah.
think like John's like in the closet, like just open him up, and he's ready to go, But like he's got a life.
And
like,
then like you
John
also
has
got to
a
pay
life.
for therapy sessions because it's been we have to get we have to go. You
You
know what I
have to
mean?
get
Build
that
back our
you gotta get that
chemistry.
chemistry
We have
back.
to like
Oh
get our
my-
friendship back.
Yeah, that's a whole other issue. Like you improvising with somebody you don't
Yeah.
you don't hang out with anymore, you don't know anymore. Like it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it doesn't work like that. you
No,
know?
and so money after a
I think
certain point,
it's-
it's not even an option. I mean, obviously we'd probably do it, and
Well, we
yeah,
do- we
the
have-
idea is
This
so
is a
cool
weird
and
hypothetical.
exciting to them
Yeah.
that they don't really think past the
Yeah, and I
initial
get that.
idea.
I
And
get
like,
that.
I understand.
Yeah.
We have a 10-year anniversary show coming up, so we want to do something special, but I don't think it's going to be
I don't think it's
in the
gonna
vein
be,
of people were expecting. But hopefully, definitely if we're doing something like that, we can go above and beyond and do something a little bit more special because it's special. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But yeah, there's nothing. It's one of those things. Is the minute we do the act a certain way, then people will be like, oh, but it's not going to be with these people. That I just wanted to see that show. I didn't want to see
Yeah.
this other show. And I mean, that's just. I mean, there'll always be people out there like that. There's people who don't care. Those
This
the
is-
normal people.
This has been a very technical podcast, but
Yeah.
we didn't really talk about a lot of the. It was less personal and more about business, but that's cool.
I
We've been
mean-
going for about 2 hours now.
Yeah, I pulled as many questions as I could find, and it's just what Twitter brought me today. Thank you for.
Let's get some parting words from Bryan since we don't hear from him all the time, and he's
Yeah.
a busy guy. He's got jobs and stuff.
I work in the real world and everything. It's funny because I was doing a show in a classroom, and some girl comes up and she's, "Do you know about Steam Powered Giraffe?"
Oh my gosh.
I was like, "Yes." "Do you know about Zero?" I'm like, "Maybe." I was like, I don't know how to answer this
What?
question because I play a character, I play Dr. Zulu at the San Diego Zoo, so I don't want to be like, "Yes, I'm also him."
Yeah,
Like,
So
yeah.
wait, did she not know it was you, or?
Oh, she was like processing it.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like processing in her head.
Well, no, it's. I
but
mean,
if
you're
she's
not.
watching, hey.
You're not supposed to like when you get this like zoo contracts and stuff. You're not supposed to advertise your other stuff.
Yeah.
So,
So,
you're like,
but saying I know of
maybe.
him.
fine line, dude.
You
fine
can like
line.
wink a million times.
Yeah. It was designed. That's what I said. He was designed after me, and then I moved on with my life. But yeah, I don't got no parting words other than try to improvise real quick.
So how does it feel to be a celebrity now? No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
that was it.
Yeah,
That was it,
actually,
man.
no one asked that today, but like that,
Yeah.
I think that's a good closing question. Like, has it been a lot different for you as far as social media goes?
Oh
Or-
yeah.
Limousines
100%.
to every event.
I don't use social media, so like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's bizarre for me to like whoa like now I gotta like think about it, but I don't really think
Sure,
about it. I don't
yeah.
think about anything
Yeah.
really, but it's just different because it's like whatever you do, people gonna talk about it. It's like
Yeah,
oh
well-
okay yeah.
Well, what I've noticed is that
Just wait till you get in some hot water.
Oh, I'm sure. But that's the yeah. What do you say?
well, I was just gonna say, yeah, I noticed when I joined the band suddenly, because I had my Instagram for years before
Yeah.
joining Steam Powered Giraffe, but now I can't post anything without some kind of reference to the lore on my
Yeah,
picture.
right.
I'm like, it's impressive. I'm like, they can connect anything
they
to
got
Steam
it,
Powered
man.
Giraffe.
They got it.
Yeah,
I'm
heaven
like, oh my-
forbid if you ever post an Instagram of a quesadilla because
Quesadilla.
No, I mean, you know, I see like references like that all the time. I just roll my eyes because like I've already seen everything
Yeah.
a million times. It's like no one's
fun.
unique.
I really love posting Instagram. Over the years, it's really grown, and it's my favorite social media site.
Yeah, me
Oh
too.
yeah,
post
I-
to.
I'm
I like
a
it
photographer.
has a nice
so,
throwaway.
Like, that's the only one I really like.
Here's a picture.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
That's all I can do, man. That's all I can do.
I don't
like,
do
a lot of people on the
Facebook.
Facebook. I'm like, I can't. I feel like it's a diary. Like I can't.
Yeah.
I don't want to write about this. Like
Facebook is exhausting.
I'm the worst at it.
I
I've
don't
got, like
post,
my
like,
message.
ever.
My messages is like. It's like 50 of them, and I'm like, I don't want to look at it because I feel like if I look at it, I gotta like,
Yeah.
I gotta deal with it.
Yeah.
Like, stack it up.
Well, hopefully fans who want some of our attention and love, you can see us at shows and talk to us and all that. So
I'm much better in person.
It's a one-sided relationship, like always, unfortunately.
And like you know, having posting on Instagram for so many years and just having my few like real life friends like my photos, I keep forgetting that there's this like there's literally thousands of people out there who like are paying attention to what I like and stuff and like
Yeah.
what Camille likes. Someone sent
Oh yeah.
someone sent Camille Superman posters in the mail.
What?
And they were like, "Oh, I thought Camille would like these." And I was
Well,
like,
she
"Oh
would,
yeah, I
too.
forgot that like people are paying attention to our Twitters and stuff." It's like, wow.
That always gets me at shows
It's
when people come
really-
up and like, oh, I really like this thing that you said on your post. I'm like, where people? Because I see the likes, but
I'm-
you
Yeah,
get.
you don't. It don't
I'm-
register.
I'm
yeah.
still
And
not
I'm like,
used
what? You
to-
actually read my post?
Yeah, I'm still not
Yeah.
used to the whole like. There's people out there who I don't know personally who are paying attention to my life.
I got a cool gift a couple weeks ago. It was the Skyrim dragon that talks.
Oh.
It was like the super deformed one from Pop. It's so cool.
Can't remember his name.
I think it's because during the winter I was playing Skyrim and
Yeah.
it's awesome.
I gotta get back into Skyrim.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably only like 20% in, but it's fun.
So
Yeah,
There's
me
so much
too.
to do.
Well, like once I got The Witcher, I was like, this is kind of what I wanted. It's just
Yeah.
because like I love Skyrim, but like the combat system is not. It's not the
Yeah.
greatest.
yeah,
I get
no,
really
it's
frustrated
not.
with it.
I finally finished Blood and Wine.
Yeah.
I'm done with the Witcher storyline, but I still have some side quests to finish.
I'm just like
I'm savoring that game.
I'm
It's like
so
one of my favorites.
dug in Mass Effect, like scanning
Oh,
things.
yeah.
I just want to scan everything.
Scan everything.
I feel like I'm getting married and this is my registry. Like, yeah, I'll take some of this.
Here's all the casual
take
stuff
some
we
lithium.
didn't have time for.
You know.
I'm still playing Horizon 2. I'm
Oh my
really
god, I'm
enjoying
playing
that.
so many games. I wish we could have talked about them.
I know. Next time.
Next podcast, we'll talk about
yeah,
it.
this-
We'll talk
this
about
was
fun
a-
things.
this
We
was
talked
a-
about taxes or something. We talked about something really
Taxes?
boring that I hate. Oh, like realtor. It's like,
I guess
why are we talking about this? I hate this stuff.
That's like literally like when I thought of the idea like earlier, like, oh, what if like the robots we're going to get an ice cream parlor, but we don't inherit it. We have to go and get the money, a bank loan first.
See,
Because for me that's funny for some
It is-
reason.
it
It's
is funny.
so-
It is funny.
It's so boring. It's like
like
I think
I
the
would-
more menial the task, the funnier it is.
I would watch us in line for 5 minutes quiet. Like
Yeah.
I would watch that because I think it would be very, very funny.
that's
you know?
one of those 15
Like,
minute
what would
cartoon.
come up?
One of the, like episode 2 is going to be that.
Yeah.
Where it
It's
just,
like-
where it just goes on and on for
Like,
way too
fi-
long.
like silence.
And then like
absolute
then
silence.
all the reviews for the first one will be like, wow, real potential here, and the second one will be like, this
This is boring.
is
I don't get it.
they think they're so funny.
Well, I always more to talk
They
about
wasted
in
thousands
the
of dollars on this animation.
Trillions of dollars.
All right, let's get out of here.
All
We're
right,
gonna.
here we go.
Oh.
This is a long one.
It's a good one.
Brian, will you do the honors?
Is there different words at the end?
Yeah.
Good luck. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, we just finished the podcast with Steam Powered Giraffe. It was the Bennettarium.
I forgot already.
Yeah, we rolled some dice, but we didn't do much. We talked about real estate with the Bennettarium. It was the incredible, fantastic Bennettarium. And it's finished, because we're done.
See you next week or sometime.
Thank you, everyone.
I forgot
Thanks
my
for tuning
I
in.
forgot my harmonies.
It's all right. We'll work on it next
Oh,
time.
it's all good.
The next one is usually all the videos are exclusive for Engineer-eteers, but every once in a while we do like a live video one for YouTube.
So if you want to see more of this, we usually do it every week.
Is this a live video one?
This is free for everyone on YouTube.
Yeah,
So
live
everyone can see
video.
the video.
Everyone can see it.
Okay, I thought this was just audio. No, I'm kidding.
Were you scratching something? Maybe. But yeah, if you wanna see more of these, we got archived ones. Pretty much almost every week. We've only missed 2 or 3 so far.
And we have the audio.
Engineer-eteer. Look at that up on our website.
Yeah, but we get the audio versions out for everyone. We put it up on YouTube. We put it up on our podcast page. And the video is exclusive for Engineer-eteers. So yeah, this is the podcast.
Cool.
All right, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, friends.
Have a
Love
nice
you.
have a nice week.